Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Yes, me. When do I come on? That's the question.
Now you're on.
Oh, no, I hear myself in my one ear.
I see the light.
Do you? Yeah, I know that's on. Do you see a video? People go, how come you guys can't get this thing straight before it actually starts? It ain't as easy as you think, folks. If anybody can do this stuff, oh, here we go. Here we go. If anybody could do this stuff, if it was easy, that's what I meant. If it was easy, anybody could do this stuff. It's not easy. Anyway, we're still recuperating. Stupid thing. What do they say when you make the same mistake every day?
Insanity.
Yeah. And expect different results. Okay, we're almost ready. Only been here for 4 hours, and now we're just getting ready.
Yes. Are we settled in?
We're just about settled in.
Okay.
Hi, Tom Trento. We're still recuperating from yesterday's show.
Hi, Tom Trento.
That was, hi,
That
CJ.
was-
How are you?
Woo.
That was, that deserved a glass of wine after work, for
Yep.
sure. We had Thule Woltz. Well, actually, the first hour yesterday, we, our number one fan in the UK, over in United Kingdom, I think I could say her name. Yeah. Judy, right? Our number one fan. She sent a letter and just said she was just in tears watching the archive of it. And Judy, if you're watching live right now, and it's what 10:30, 4 minutes after 10 for you. That was the impact. All of us in the studio were fighting back tears, and we know Thule for 6 or 7 years, and see him often and speak together and all of that. But every time you hear that story of he and his son being blown up by a Palestinian animal, suicide bomber, a Muslim terrorist, it's just devastating. And then you see what it's done to their family. Oh, well, a religion of peace. In any event, Tom Trento here, trentovision.tv. And boy, do we have some wild stuff in store for you tomorrow. Certainly stuff today. But tomorrow, our digs are going to change. Our crib is going to look a little differently tomorrow. And CJ, you don't even know how much differently it's going to look. Mike, I don't even think you know what it's going to look like tomorrow.
I have no idea.
No?
So
gonna be
far,
very
all
cool.
you've told me is it's going to be hot and icky.
It's going to be hot and icky.
But it's going to look good.
Yes, it'll look very, very good.
Yeah.
Mark
So
assures
who cares
us
if we all have to suffer?
we're going to suffer under
We're gonna
hot lights.
Suffer for our art.
So be there at 6 a.m. for makeup, please.
6 a.m. 3 weeks ago might have helped. Yeah.
We are going to be transitioning. I won't say too much about it, from this shot here to a kind of a more polished television show. So that will be starting tomorrow. We're going to experiment. I'm saying that because
The word is experiment.
Yes, I'm saying that.
The key word to that is experiment.
Because when everything blows up and we're doing this on the show, we're experimenting. But we have been known to push an envelope or two on occasion.
4 or 5.
So we're going to push a bunch of them tomorrow. Today we got some very fascinating information for you. I'm here, Tom Trento. Invisible Mike is over there. Invisible. Disembodied Mark is
embodied today.
You're
He's embodied.
well, not really. I mean, your voice
Better
is
be
floating.
good or I'll embalm you.
But he has been working on the secret plan for about a week or so, and it will be released. Hello, CJ. It'll be released tomorrow. How are you?
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Let me see. Anything before we get rolling here? We don't even do commercial. We don't do anything anymore. Just kind of hanging out here.
Oh, we just, we had so many people call and email us after the
After
show
the show,
yesterday.
Yesterday,
yeah.
I was listening to it on the radio and everything,
Yeah.
and
Oh, when you called, we were holding our breath, like, oh gosh, he's gonna cry on.
Oh, we knew.
On the
We knew.
phone,
We
we
knew
knew.
you were going
I was,
down.
I was
We
not trying to
knew.
cry.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Yeah,
I was
we
not
knew.
trying. I really held
You're a
it back.
big wimp.
I thought I did.
I know, but we could just hear you holding it back.
As I said, we put the video together, made a video called I Want to Live, and we had to review hundreds of photos. So going through these photos of Daniel, he talked about his smile. And then we went in the bedroom, and the shelf in Daniel's room with all the trophies
Right.
is exactly,
From his sports trophies.
it's exactly
yeah.
the way it was. And
Oh my gosh.
it was so bad, this video, that I had a bunch of questions written out to ask Cheryl and Thule.
Right.
I could not physically ask the questions, and a woman was with me,
Right.
and I asked her to do it, and she actually asked the questions. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I stood in the corner and cried.
Wow.
It was crazy.
I remember when you sent me that video.
Mhm.
Before we started working together.
I remember when we were up in Tallahassee and Thule was speaking up there,
Yep.
and I said, "Hey, do you have a picture of Daniel that I can put up during your presentation?" And he goes, "Anything online or something like that?" He goes, "No, but I have this," and he pulls his picture. He pulls his little picture out of his wallet, which is all wrinkled and
Oh boy.
stuff like that. And so I took a picture of it on the iPhone and then uploaded it to the thing. And then I remember putting it up during his presentation, his bit at the end, and I just started crying
that's
in a control
natural.
room when it happened. And
No, the tough story, and you can go to DC Daniel Cantor, DC Woltz Foundation.
DCWFoundation.org.
So the initials, Daniel Cantor Woltz, DCWFoundation.org, and go there. The whole story is there. And today, at 6:30 today Eastern Time, Thule will be at Florida Atlantic University at the Hillel Room over by the school library next to Einstein's Bagel Joint. That's where the Hillel Room is. It's not at the Student Center. It's further north on the campus. And if you need information, give us a call here, 888-565-1470. We are going to be over there. Thule Woltz is showing Crossing the Line. The Intifada comes to campus. And we're not getting our guest.
Nope, not answering.
And we lost the picture,
Lost what picture?
the video picture.
No, we just got to reboot.
I lost it. In our new facility, we will not lose the pictures that
Oh,
way.
you say that now.
I know,
you say that
It's
now.
wishful thinking.
You say that now.
We'll lose us. I'm warm in here, and it's 75 degrees. All these crazy lights we're going to have on.
Wait till we get over there.
So
You're kidding about all the
no,
lights and
it's
everything.
going to be
right?
hot, and we're going to. Oh my God! Hang on. We're going down. Okay, it only took 11 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before our first Mark Astrophy. Mark Astrophy. A Mark Astrophy. We got a lot going on. What is this thing?
No, but we meet a lot of incredible people. Like Thule, Thule Wolf's story. Todd
David
Beamer. David Beamer, Todd Beamer, Let's
Yeah.
Roll.
Yeah.
The Bonds.
Yeah.
Losing our sons. What an incredible story that was. I mean, and the commonality between all this is It's in America. It's overseas. It's in Israel. It's the same exact story. Muslims killing people because they're not Muslim. And that's the same thing. I mean, how you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out.
The common denominator is not that difficult to figure out. That's for sure. And today's show is very interesting too, folks. Yes, we are going to select a winner. In fact, we started that process last night. The process to select a Mozart winner. We will
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Right, CJ?
Yes, we
Okay, we will do that. Sifting through everything. We will do that in the very near future. And once we get settled into our new digs, for those of you who we have some commercials with you, we'll start putting those out regularly. We're going to produce video spots for it, and it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be very, very cool. This is a tremendous development for us. We'll tell more about it tomorrow. But yesterday, the first hour yesterday, we had it was about a cemetery headstone. The show was on a headstone. And but the headstone was so critically important because of the individual who's buried beneath the headstone, Mayor Ed Koch, former mayor of New York, and what he had inscribed on the stone as a memorial to an individual, Daniel Pearl, and as a statement to the world regarding Muslim terrorism. We told that story yesterday. You can see it in our archive on YouTube, youtube.com/TheUnitedWest, and all the videos are there. We haven't entitled all of them, so you kind of got to guess right now.
Well, I think the date works.
Yeah, the date the date does work. So yesterday was what, the 19th?
The 19th.
You can look at the 19th. And Ed Koch simply quoted Daniel Pearl's final words before he was beheaded by Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Nothing yet?
Answer, just ring. Text him. Have him call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want him to call the studio line anyway. We don't want him on full Skype.
Yeah, we gave him all of that stuff. He was ready to go. That's his... So he's not calling the Skype. I'm going to get one of these numbers. I'm going to get this number to you, Mark. And you could call him.
Okay.
Here we go. CJ, when I'm stalling like this, you should
I should be
talk.
talking?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
I
just
was
cover.
checking my email.
You can
Oh,
cover
Okay. All right.
to Mark.
And what would you like me to cover?
Just make up anything.
Just make up anything?
Okay, I'm back.
You're back. Okay.
I'm back.
I love how he just throws that at us every now and then. Yeah, go ahead. You guys get the ball run.
Yeah. I come into work today and
you're the phone
everybody's in the control room. Oh, by the way, CJ, we have to go.
You're doing the show.
You're doing the show today. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, now how do I rerun that show from yesterday and just play it again?
Just wave, right?
Yeah, hi. If
What
you missed this yesterday, you should watch it.
was just taking place, we come in hour, sometimes 2 hours early every day, and we do some pre-production work, and we Skype all the people that are going to be on, and we test the Skype. Well, I just sent it to you. I texted it to you. Yes, you'll get it in a second. Everything was working perfectly. I was just laying out a little introduction, and then we're going to bring our guest on, and he's not there. Our guest is not there. So something must have happened on the other end. Our guest is a good friend of the show. You know him. He's the map man, the map, M-A-P man, Mark Langfan, Langfan.
Yeah, we'll be able to bring up a lot of his maps in the future and let you see them in nice living color and
yes.
actually full. Yeah, it's going to be nice little stuff we do.
Yeah. If you like the look of this show, you're going to love the shows in the near future, because we're going to be able to put a lot of production into them that we're not able to here. But Mark Langfan has written another very insightful article that coincides quite nicely, harmonizes with, dovetails with the information that we put out in an email blast today. As many of you know, it is Israeli Apartheid Week in the United States of America, and actually goes on for several weeks. And it manifests itself on several campuses. I think there's 40 U.S. campuses, and some of them are just horrendous. It's a Jew hate fest. In saying when the pro-Palestinian supporters see Israeli Apartheid Week, what they actually see in their mind is, hey, it's Jew hate fest week. All right, let's have some fun. So that's what it really is to the target audience. To the dummies that are either willfully blind or frightened, it's an effort by folks to try to just reveal some of the injustices and injustices both of the Israelis, and just trying to get everything, just trying to get the world to be a safer place and a nice place. And the big Israelis are just so bad.
And we've been following this for years. I mean, we've been following this for literally years. And it started out as just, well, we're going to say something against Israel, and then it became Israel Apartheid Week, where they're actually naming the country. And now this year is the first time they've moved it with the first personal pronoun of Israeli Apartheid Week, which means it's pretty clear we hate Jews. I mean, we've always said they've hated Jews, but now we have they're public.
Israel Apartheid Week refers to 7 million Jews. Israeli Apartheid Week really goes to all Jews
everywhere.
I mean, it's a classification. Now, if they said Jewish Apartheid Week, that would really be pushing the envelope, right? Because what does that mean, Jewish Apartheid? Because they're still trying to say that that's the country over there and it's those people. But in any event, we saw in California 2 weeks ago, one of our guys out there, Gary Faust, had a run-in with Omar Balgoudi, who popped up. Where did he just pop up? Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He was in Brooklyn. Yeah, he was in Brooklyn. So he goes from UC Irvine. Watch this. This is our investigative story that we're going to bring out in a second hour. Omar Barghouti, who is a bad guy, pops up at UC Irvine, University of California, Irvine, on Israeli Apartheid Week, and he's pontificating on the bad Israelis and the necessity for... What are you showing me? What does it say?
Is he the one who was screaming about the queers?
Yes, yes. The queers and the pinkwashing and all that.
Pinkwashing. Pinkwashing, absolutely ridiculous. For those of you who don't know, pinkwashing is when you hide your apartheid tendencies by holding gay pride parades.
It's not after Mark does his laundry with his red shirt and it ends up with pink underwear. No,
okay,
that's
you
not
don't do your laundry, so you're not fooling anybody with that.
That was back in my college.
Back when you
did
I thought
hot water
laundry.
and reds and whites actually mixed.
Hang on one second, Mike. I got to say hello to somebody. Then we'll do the two-shot. No Mark yet? The other Mark?
No.
Okay. Well, we're just going to do the first hour first. Then we'll find Mark. Yeah, obviously, Mark's a big-time attorney, Mark Langfan. Something probably popped up. But before you move that camera, I have to talk right into that camera because we have our partner, our activism partners, hanging out around the United States of America. True red, white, and blue patriots. Who am I talking about?
The Tea Party
All
community?
right.
Tea Party
Let's say
community.
hello. They're tuning in.
Okay, one quiz, I got the answer right.
There's a few thousand of
Okay.
them online right now. And this is Tom Trento. I'm going to go around. Everybody can welcome them in their own way. I'd like to welcome all you Tea Party right-wing crazies to join the rest of us as we tell these people what the Constitution is all about, because we are not playing games anymore, right? Are you with us? Okay, all yours. I'll hand it over to CJ.
Calling all extremists.
Yes, all extremists.
Calling all extremists. Welcome. Follow us. Change the world.
And Mark, all yours.
Well, the big key message here is you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is the whole point of Tea Party community. Realize that we're not just one individual voice. We're actually a lot of individual voices with the same ideal and concepts to save America. And if we can get together, if we can rally together, we can have a great impact or change on this country. And that's the whole point of the Tea Party community, is to give you a chance to have a voice and rally around. This is the whole point of it.
No, he's doing.
Rally
he's
around the
pretty well.
flag, boys.
Yes, absolutely.
And girls.
You remind me, Mark, and this is for the Tea Party community, and I should explain to everybody out there. We are in a partnership with TeaPartyCommunity.com. TeaPartyCommunity.com. It is a Facebook-like concept. It's a social community, but it resembles to some extent visually Facebook, so that there's some familiarity with the movement of information and people. But it is a very explicit and specific community for serious conservatives, for Tea Party type people, taxed enough already, limited government, lower taxes, restraint on politicians, responsiveness, a focus on national security,
Which is new for a lot of people.
New for a lot. And the Tea Party community has folks that are right-wing conservative Republicans, center-right Republicans, center-left Democrats, conservative, blue dog Democrats, libertarians. It's really a combination of people who are fed up with the existing structure. We have the Democrat Party and the existing Republican Party, which is almost Democrat light right now. So we are going to organize ourselves, Tea Party community. And if you'd like to call in and speak with us on this show, it's very simple. It's an 800 number, 888-565-1470. 888-565-1470. In fact, we would like to hear from some of you folks who have joined the Tea Party community and just share your experience. Why did you come over to Tea Party community? How did you hear about it? Since you've been there, what kind of friends have you made? What have you seen that's good? What are some of the problems? This is the time to talk to us. In fact, I was talking to Tim earlier today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a daily segment about the community, Tea Party community.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And then either bring on some of the folks there, highlight some of the activities. Yeah, Tea Party Hour. It probably won't be an hour, but it'll be a nice segment. Yeah. So we'll drink tea, hot tea under the hot lights. That should be a lot of
Can
fun.
I have a dollop, please?
You are not making this sound fun at all. I must tell you.
I just sat in a luncheon in Florida in 80 degrees in the sun. I mean,
I'm sure people in Iowa are really feeling sorry for you.
I know they are. Yes, 3 degrees in Iowa. So anybody from the Tea Party community that is watching right now, give us a call, 888-565-1470. We'd like to hear about your experience, and let me explain.
I'm curious if people are really linking up with other site members from their own states and starting to pay attention to their state governors' offices and legislators and local governments and linking up.
I think what we're going to find out. Do you remember how we were talking to Thule yesterday about you don't know what impact that you're having once you start linking out to people?
Yeah, that's what we were telling him.
And I think this is the same type of thing that's going to happen with us and the Tea Party community is you're going to start making these contacts. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of people to invoke change in anything. I mean, if you look at the founding of our nation, 100 people, in essence, really made this country. Less than 100 people. And look what we're doing now. And the same thing will happen with the Tea Party community.
Well, look on the other side. Look how few are screwing up this country.
I know.
It's 20 people in the White House.
Everybody thinks CARE is this huge, massive organization. The Council of American Islamic Relations has less than 2,000.
I know. Nationally, it's just a total scam. But on the Tea Party side, what'll be it is going to be a phenomenal organizational tool because we are filtering through the system, through the Tea Party community website. We're filtering the serious activists and the folks that want to get involved, and they are looking for leadership. They say, look, I got 5, I got 10, I got 15 hours a week. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Right.
And Tim Saletti, Ken Crow, these guys have broken down the functions, the state hubs, all of this. But right now, everybody's got to bear with us. We had a little problem last night.
What's that?
Well, still there's hacking and all of that.
Yeah, it's growing pains.
But they're hacking to such a degree that they're causing some people to fall off, like they're
Right.
like erasing some people. So if something weird has happened to you, a Tea Party community, understand this is what warfare is. It's cyber warfare. We would not be under attack if the enemy didn't view the reality of the Tea Party community as a substantive force that can break their little
party,
soiree they're having with the White House. So don't take any attacks on Tea Party community or on you personally. Some people are getting attacked personally through
Right.
the hacking, and they're going, I don't know if I want to be involved with this. They're getting nervous, obviously. This is
Realize we're at war.
This is a war, exactly, and the bullets are going to be whizzing by, and that's not for sunshine summers or sunshine
Patriots.
soldiers
Sunshine,
Patriots.
Patriots and
sunshine,
summer soldiers.
Patriots
And
and
summer
summer
soldiers.
soldiers.
Not for those guys, but
Thomas Paine, right?
Nobody on Tea Party. Nobody on Tea
Oh,
Party
he's
community.
he's back.
Nobody on Tea Party community is a sunshine
Tell him to
patriot
call
or
the
summer
studio
soldier.
line.
Mark, call the studio line.
So we're getting our first guest in, but let me lay the groundwork for our guest. So thank you,
Yeah.
Tea Party folks. Good to be here with you, and we
And I wish they would call.
yeah, they can
I
call
wish they would call the show.
565-1470. People get a little intimidated to call,
How
particularly
could
when there's
anybody
a group.
be intimidated by you?
Well,
What did they
And
call us? We're
really-
haters and we're thugs.
Okay,
We're
first of
thugs.
all, anybody
And
who signed up
minions.
to
You guys
be
are
on
you are minions and thugs.
the
Am I a
Tea
minion or-
Party
I wouldn't be a thug.
community
I don't wanna be a
is not
minion.
a scaredy cat anyway.
That's true. That's true.
I want to be a thug.
There's no squishes on the Tea Party
What's
community.
kind of funny to be a thug and a minion at the same time.
Yeah, you hear CJ.
Is that Mark? Let me
Yeah.
lay the groundwork for Mark Langfan as we bring him in.
Mark, call into the studio line.
Yeah, we're gonna do
It's
your
all on the
audio on
email.
the studio line.
Follow the email.
I'm muted.
It's all on your email, Mark. It's all on your
He's too
email.
busy to read his emails.
Not really.
So anyway,
let me lay the groundwork. I'll try once again.
Okay, try again.
There is a coordinated influence operation going on, implemented by the Muslim Brotherhood's one of their front groups. I wrote in an email today that if you are still of the mind that the Muslim Brotherhood is an invention of the vast right-wing conspiratorialists, I said, you better avoid ocean cruises because we don't want you falling off of the edge of the earth. Okay. So, but if you're of the mind that the Brotherhood indeed exists and they have a stated, printed, now we can show that. I mean, while
right.
I'm saying that,
Yeah,
we
while
can,
you're saying
in
that,
our
we
new
can
show,
that.
yes, our new
Show a
studio.
little sailboat on the water.
In our new studio, we can show that. But if you are of the mind that the Brotherhood has a civilizational jihad plan and they are using an IO influence operation to mobilize people in a particular direction to implement their political philosophy, then you're with us. And we're saying, we have discovered through some sources and our own investigation, we'll talk about this in the second hour, but it leads into the first hour. We're saying that Students for Justice in Palestine had a presentation in Brooklyn and a presentation in Boca Raton. Does anybody see any commonality between those two cities, Brooklyn and Boca?
Could be a lot of Jewish people in those.
Oh, there may
Okay.
be a lot of Jewish people in
Yeah.
Brooklyn and a lot of Jewish
Yeah.
people in Boca. Does anybody know where the president is going in March?
Israel?
Oh, and is it possible that SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine, want to mobilize the willfully blind liberal Jews to use their wealth and their influence on Obama to
The
support
best
Obama
friend that Israel ever had.
to get justice for Palestine?
well, and here's the pattern that we've always noticed. The Muslim Brotherhood would rather, their idea of the influence operation is to take the heat off of them. What they do is they put other people who are non-Muslim out in front of them to speak for them, to deflect from them. So therefore, if a Jewish person is out there saying how great
rabbi or
our
a leader,
rabbi,
yep.
the rabbi
That's
starts
right.
defending the SJP, and they don't have
Right.
to defend themselves.
Yep.
That is their whole for
And
years.
then all they have to say is, look what Rabbi so and so said.
Yep.
That's right.
And they
They-
get one quote, and then they parlay that quote.
And then-
We'll reveal that operation in the second hour. Let's take Lucy, a call from Lucy, then we'll get to Mark because I know he's
Okay.
on a tight schedule.
All right, we have Lucy on the line.
Hey, Tom and CJ. This is Lucy from Tennessee,
Hello.
and I'm a Tea Party. I'm a part of the Tea Party community.
All
and
right.
Awesome.
I'm about to get.
I'm not scared to call in. I have been hacked several times on the Tea Party community, but I usually go to Trento Vision to listen to y'all, and I love your program.
Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Lucy. Why'd you join Tea Party Community?
Well, I love the Lord Jesus, and I love my country, and I hate what I see that's being done to it.
Good reason. Good enough
Pretty
reason for
simple.
me.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. ABC.
Yes.
Are you a fighter or what?
I am a fighter. I'm a
Okay.
co-leader of the Tea Party here in Jackson, Tennessee,
Well, great.
and we've taken on the Muslims and all the things, and now the Second Amendment, and we're just living in a lawless country right now that has no love of God and no love for the law. So we're trying to stand up, and I appreciate all that y'all do because you just reinforce what we're trying to do and encourage us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've said it well. One team, one fight. We are.
You
And
can tell,
Right.
tell Lucy's from Tennessee too.
yeah,
With the
yeah,
y'alls. Yeah.
We're gonna, hey, Lucy, we're gonna need you to round up some rednecks.
Okay.
We're gonna have to get the show on the road here pretty soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I will do
and
that.
Okay.
Call us from time to time and let us know what projects you're working on in your area so we could let everybody know, because a lot of people don't know what they can do in their own hometowns, and you might have an idea that gets carried over into 30, 40 different cities.
And you lead by
Okay.
example, then other people pick up on your example and replicate
Exactly.
what in their town
Will
what
do.
you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, Lucy.
Okay.
Thank you, and your passion and your commitment. It just comes out so clearly
Yeah.
that God
she
bless
sounds
you.
really
Okay.
nice,
Oh,
and I'm
God
glad
bless
she's on our
y'all.
side, because she
She-
sounds like she could be scary if she
Okay.
wasn't.
You take care, Lucy. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Trying to
Lucy.
Thank you.
Trying to listen to all three of us at
Yeah.
once. So I saw a Mark's ready to come on. We'll bring
Yeah,
him
he's
in a
on the line.
I saw a in the early '80s. We were putting a activism newsletter together, and one of the guys comes running in. Tom, look at this thing. Look at this. And he throws a cartoon down. I go, it's got to go in the newsletter. And I could draw it. I could see it in my mind. I could draw it. It had 1,000 people all walking in one direction with their head down, all depressed, and each bubble, the thought bubble,
Mm-hmm.
each one said, "What could one person do?" Right? What could one? And it was 1,000. What could one person's do? And they're all just
Right.
walking like this, all by themselves. And you
Right.
look at that and you go, "Okay, that's the deal. Let's
that's
make
the Tea
that
Party
happen."
Well,
community
that's
thing.
that's
Yep.
the whole point behind the Tea Party community, right there.
All right, now from the Tea Party community to the New York community to the Israel community, we have the Map Man. Let's give a warm Trento Vision welcome to the Map Man, Mark Lang.
Hey, Mark.
We got to have
Hey,
sound
guys.
effects.
I'm first of all, I was thinking that the one word you guys missed for that last caller was wisdom.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's because we're not too wise sometimes, Mark.
Well,
but no,
what
she
can
had
I tell you?
she had a lot of wisdom for sure.
He had a lot of wisdom.
And it's the good old boy rednecks that are disproportionately on the front lines fighting for the United States with weapons. And the New Yorkers and the San Franciscoans and all of them are MIA in this fight. So we can rely on
That's the
some.
understatement.
Yep. So, all right, Mark, you wrote a fascinating article once again.
yeah.
And I don't know if you heard our lead-in, but we have been banging heads with Students for Justice in Palestine.
Yes.
and they had a confrontation up at CUNY, C-U-N-Y, City University of New York, the Brooklyn campus. And then they came down here, and we had a confrontation down here, Florida Atlantic University. Both of those venues seem to have Jewish people. And
I'm going to make it simple. It's a cult.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, here. Well, listen. We're seeing a coordinated campaign to influence Jewish people to support Obama in his trip to Israel, and you've discovered something in his trip to Israel that's fascinating. That's what we want to go through today.
We just lost him.
You got him on the audio.
We have him on the audio. We're fine.
Okay. My short and sweet is if you look at what he has said and what
Obama has said?
What Obama, and in fact, the one quote I did not put in there was Hillary Clinton. Very recently said the same thing. What she and what Obama are trying to do is set Israel up for what appears on the surface to be sort of a trade where somehow Israel gives in on the peace process so that America could take a tougher line with Iran. And that has sort of been the dialogue, that's been the dialectic for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Which at core is crazy when you just stop and you say, okay, let me think about whether the linkage really makes sense or not. How, if you do link them, what are the consequences? And once you realize that on the surface, and by the way, some of the biggest purveyors of this Kool-Aid are the Jews themselves. You've got American Jewish organizations. You've got some Israelis who will do anything to have a peace process. So they come up with any reason that Israel should give up the West Bank, whether it makes sense or not. They say, oh, Israel should give up the West Bank because it's going to make the Arabs more conducive to enabling America to launch an attack against Iran.
Okay, Mark, isn't that really coming from the left, and especially in Israel? Wasn't this whole notion of land for peace, this concept, pretty much repudiated by the results of the election?
No.
You don't think so?
If we're talking there's two different elections. First of all, the Israeli election, absolutely, positively have not been repudiated at all. As a matter of fact, Livnei, who was as leftist as you could probably be in Israel, was just appointed by Netanyahu to be the prime negotiator with the Palestinians.
Yeah.
You don't see Netanyahu.
Well, that's because she pretty much has screwed up every job she's ever had, so he's pretty sure that she'll get that one wrong too.
Well, let's put it this way. I would hope that's sort of his thinking, but I mean, it's like putting a person who's drunk and who's crashed the car, into the car and saying, "Oh, I'm going to get the insurance proceeds."
Right.
I mean, you can't run a country this way. And more to the point, what Israel does has a direct impact on the very issue you were just talking about, in that you've got students, you've got Jewish students, and forget Jewish students. You've got human beings all over this country who are concerned about Israel, who get an entirely mixed, confused message from none other than Bibi Netanyahu.
Right.
He gets up there and says, there can be a Palestinian state, there can be a two-state solution, there can be a demilitarized Palestine. As long as they
and here's the red line for
right.
the Iran nukes program, right?
Now the red line for the Iran nukes program.
Yeah.
Again, it was good that he made a red line because
right.
they had to have a red line. The real issue was he didn't exactly make it clear what his red line was. But the Iran is really a different issue than the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, because everyone is confused. They don't understand. If Bibi Netanyahu is saying you can have a two-state solution, then why don't they have a two-state solution? It sounds so easy. A demilitarized state, okay, sure. They'll have a demilitarized state. I mean, it appears, and Israel makes it appear to be a lot easier than it is. And in the process, they lose all of the people on the right, like myself. They make it almost impossible for people like me to explain the situation.
Right.
Because I'll walk into a congressional office and they said that Bibi Netanyahu
right.
said you can have a two-state solution. Bibi Netanyahu said it can be demilitarized.
Right.
And, I have to show them that Bibi Netanyahu said you can't allow smuggling into a demilitarized Palestinian state.
Right.
And how are you going to stop smuggling? I mean, America can't stop smuggling into America. Israel can't stop smuggling.
No,
Are the Palestinians going to stop Hamas from smuggling weapons into a Palestinian state? It's lunatic.
No,
That's
your
totally
peace
crazy,
partner, the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt, will shut those tunnels down for you, right?
Like they did yesterday.
No, well, actually, the interesting thing is the Egyptians have actually lately, according to the press reports, flooded a fair amount of the tunnels.
I know. That's why I said it. Yeah.
And it's interesting to understand exactly what motivated them.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think what motivated them is they see that the anarchy of the Gaza Strip
right.
is actually an infectious disease against Egypt and not
That's
Israel.
right.
Plus, those tunnels were being used also for huge criminal activity
Yeah.
and
criminal activity,
Yeah.
and also they weren't making. If a tunnel makes money for the Gaza person, the tunnel isn't making money for the Egyptian person.
That's right.
No, exactly. Yeah.
That's right.
You don't exactly
Hey, but Mark,
know what money was changing him.
Mark, the title on your article is fascinating.
Yeah, I want to.
Beware, Obama's Iran war talk
Yeah.
is Israel's suicide walk.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly.
What do you mean by that?
He is trading. What he intends to do is he intends to say, "Oh, I'm going to get tough, and I'm going to talk tough with Iran." And in return for me talking tough with Iran, you are going to have to agree to sit down with Abbas and give up land to Abbas.
All right, hang on. Let me sketch this out for the audience here.
Yeah.
It's 3:45 in the afternoon in South Florida, and it's beautiful 80 degrees where we are. Mark, what's the weather like where you are?
Oh, rub it in, baby. Rub it in.
He's up in New York.
New York, a hell of a town.
In any event, you're on TrentoVision.tv, WNN 1470. We're broadcasting out of Boca Raton, and we have Mark Langfan on. Mark wrote an article preempting the strategy that President Obama is going to utilize in Israel against Netanyahu to make Netanyahu look like the world's biggest troublemaker. And the name of the article is
all at the same time.
Beware, Obama's Iran war talk is Israel's suicide walk. So here's what Mark is saying. He's saying President Obama's going to go there. He just got an award, as you know, from Sharon Perez. How'd you like that? He got the distinguished Flying Cross of whatever.
And they've named it. What's even crazier is they named it Unbreakable Alliance.
Unbreakable Alliance. I mean, these people are operating in another universe.
That's too much.
So, President Obama, this is what Mark Langfan's saying. If you think differently, hey, Mark, can you hang over? Because we only have a few minutes left in this segment.
Sure.
Okay.
I can hang over till 4:15. I got a business call.
All right, perfect.
I got to pay for some money here.
Okay.
I have some questions.
Got to earn
talk
some money.
fast.
All right, so Mark is saying when President Obama goes there in March, he's going to say to Bibi Netanyahu, President Obama, will get tough with Ahmadinejad and the mullahs and the ayatollahs, and we'll really put the screws to them regarding nuclear disarmament. But you, Bibi, you got to give up some land. You got to go meet Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the PA on the West Bank of the Jordan River, and you want a two-state. Yeah, you got to deal, man. You got to get in the game. You got to put some skin in the game. Now what happens, Mark?
What happens is essentially the quote that I have in there is from, believe it or not, 4 years ago. And this is what Obama said 4 years ago.
That's right.
He says, 4 years ago,
he said 4 years ago, he said...
I didn't have it here. He said
is that where he says about the linkage between Iran and the Israeli-Palestinian peace process?
Yeah, could you read that one?
Yeah. If there is a linkage between Iran and the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, I personally believe it actually runs the other way. To the extent that we can make peace with the Palestinians, between the Palestinians and the Israelis, then I think it strengthens our hand in the international community in dealing with a potential Iranian threat. This is what Obama has said from the beginning, and what I've said about Obama from the beginning, that he is linking the problems of the world not to Iran having a nuclear program, but to Israeli-Palestinian issues over the West Bank and Gaza. Solve that, and then everybody will have everybody will calm down, and the United States will have the credibility as the broker to deal with Iran or North Korea or anybody else on their nuke processes.
Or by the way, global warming.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now,
because everybody, I mean, let's put it this way: the only difference between if Israel gives up the West Bank, Obama will work on global warming, and if Israel gives up the West Bank, Obama will work on Iran's nuclear bomb. One is real and the other isn't.
all right, let me ask this question, Mark Langfand. And if you want to get in on the conversation, 888-565-1470. Do you think Bibi Netanyahu should give up land for peace when he has the screws put to him by President Obama and his SWAT team when they go to Israel to smack Bibi Netanyahu around next month? Do you think Netanyahu should give up land for peace? Here's my question, Mark. How many Jews live in the Gaza Strip?
0.
Okay.
So there were a couple of thousand settlers, I think.
So all the Jews got out. There are no Jews living in that area.
That's right.
And there's absolute perfect peace in the Gaza Strip. So we'll just put that on the side for a second. Let's go to the West Bank. By all the proclamations of the Hamas and the PA, the only way there's going to be a two-state solution, and the two states will have an A and B part. The Gaza Strip will be an A part, and
it's only a 3-state solution at a minimum.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, tell me about that in a second.
Well, Gaza.
Gaza goes to Hamas.
Yeah, Gaza goes to Hamas, Fatah
West
land, and then
Fatah.
Israel. Yeah.
Until Hamas takes over.
Until they take over, and then they all go after Israel.
Before we do the geography, let's go to the math. There are close to 750,000 Jewish people living in Judea, Samaria, which is the colloquial term is the West Bank, 750,000 Jews. As I understand the demands of the Muslims, every single Jew, 750,000 Jews, have to move themselves out of Judea. The Jews have to move out of
Jews have to leave Judea.
All the Jews got to get out of there because, from what I've understood, correct me if I'm wrong, there can't be a Palestinian state if any Jews are living in it. Am I right or wrong?
You're right, but the problem is that the way they are going to do it, meaning the way the Jews are going to do it to themselves, is exactly following the scenario they did in the Gaza Strip. They didn't, first, pull out the 2,000 settlers. What they did was they gave up critical land that made the Jewish settlers' lives almost impossible, and enabled the Palestinians to first fire rockets. The first rockets that were fired were not fired, and mortars were not fired on pre-67 Israel. They were fired inside the Gaza Strip against the Jewish settlements.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's a sad commentary, but when the Jewish government of Israel decides to give back land, they are going to do anything and everything to accomplish that goal, including exposing their own citizens to bedlam, mayhem, and murder.
And this is 1 month away. This is 1 month away.
I think, Mark, that Tom was trying to make the point that any 2-state, 3-state, whatever state solution you want to call it, can't happen unless Palestinian/Muslim land is 100%
apartheid
Jew-free.
Apartheid.
No, apartheid keeps them apart. You can't even have apartheid if it's Jew-free. However, and this is a point we've been making over and over and over again, 1.5 million Arabs living, voting,
Arab
full
Israelis.
citizens
Arab
of
Israelis.
the state of
100%.
Israel.
No, what they want 100% of the West Bank, and then they want 50% of pre-67 Israel.
No, what they want is they want 100% of the state of Israel, and they will do it in any incremental fashion they can get it.
That's
all right, Mark. Hang on, Mark.
Hang on, we're going to come back at like 5 after.
Yeah, and what we want, we're going to ask.
I have a couple of good
we got good questions
here.
over here.
Yeah.
If you want to get in and talk to Mark Langfan, 888-565-1470. And Mark's theory, it's a fascinating theory. And Mark, we want you to answer the worst case. When we get back, what would be the worst case that, from the Israelis' point of view, the worst case that Obama could present? So we're out a little early here. What's he doing?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
AM 1470 with more of what you need to know. Listen each weekday starting at 3 for Trento Vision with Tom Trento, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. AM 1470 WNN. The bond between a child and a horse is special. When that child is physically or mentally challenged, the results are magical. Horses and the Handicapped of South Florida has been providing equine-assisted therapy to hundreds of children, the majority of which could never afford this highly beneficial therapy on their own. It's a great cause, and here's a great way to help. Grab your boots and join us on Friday, March 1st at 7 p.m. at Ron Bergeron's Green Glades Ranch in Weston for the 3rd annual Wild West Night. This fun and exciting evening will feature great food and drink. Try an alligator ron, live music with the Barron Sisters and the Andrews Morris Band. A live and silent auction featuring a Taylor Swift autographed guitar, live writing demonstrations, and much, much more. It's all to celebrate the legacy of Megan Morency. And all the proceeds go to Horses in the Handicap. Wild Wild West Night, Friday, March 1st. For tickets, visit hhsfl.org. That's hhsfl.org.
Can you tell if this burger contains bacteria that could cause kidney failure? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. There's only one way to tell if you've cooked meat and poultry to a bacteria-killing temperature. Use a food thermometer. It's not an extra step or a nice to have. Raw or undercooked meat may contain bacteria that can make you very sick or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by using a food thermometer every time. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I wanted to be in the military since I was a kid.
I served in the United States Air Force.
I served a total of 16 years.
I was deployed 13 times.
On my second deployment, 4 bombs hit my vehicle.
And at 19 years old, that's the first time I ever saw somebody die.
Coming back, I was raging.
I started having pretty horrible nightmares.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, sweats.
I started drinking a lot.
I felt worthless.
I guess I never recognized it in myself.
Eventually, one day I just walked into the VA hospital and said I'd like to see somebody.
Don't suffer alone. You gotta find that link with somebody that'll make you let it go.
It all starts with going to the VA. There's a whole community of veterans that just want to help you out.
It's for the guys who couldn't come back, so you owe it to them to live well, because they're not here with their families.
Visit maketheconnection.net.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, and WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar. Kansas City Mayor Sly James says authorities still aren't sure they can account for everyone who may have been in a popular restaurant when an explosion occurred last night.
We also can't be sure 100% that we can account for every single person who may have been at JJ's.
Search crews have found a body in the rubble today. It's not clear whether the body is that of a restaurant employee who was reported missing after the blast, which occurred after a construction crew apparently struck a natural gas line. Human rights activists say an air raid on a suburb of the Syrian capital has killed at least 20 people and others may have been buried under debris. The activists also say rebels have shot down a government fighter jet in another Damascus suburb. Also today, 2 mortars exploded next to a soccer stadium in the heart of Damascus. The capital region has seen an increase in violence in recent weeks. This is IRN USA Radio News.
I've always been blessed with great health. Then, one morning I woke up and couldn't remember what day it was. After a rush trip to the ER and 2 full days of tests and scans, they told me I had a rare form of amnesia. Thank God it was temporary. I got most of my memory back, but the hospital bill, well, that's one I wanted to forget. Fortunately, everything went great with Medishare. The bills were paid so quickly, it really was a non-event. What a blessing to have my medical costs shared by fellow Christians. Medishare is health care the way God meant it to be.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 866-89-BIBLE. Not available in Kentucky or Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 866-89-BIBLE. That's 866-89-BIBLE.
The Obama administration is developing penalties for cyber theft. Ed Donahue has more from Washington.
A new report considers fines and other trade actions against China or any other country found guilty of cyber espionage. The Obama administration is taking a more aggressive approach to the theft of government data and corporate trade secrets. The Chinese government denies any involvement in cyber attacks mentioned in an analysis by a cybersecurity firm. Mandiant linked China to breaches that compromised more than 140 companies. China's defense ministry calls the report deeply flawed.
Prosecutors in the Oscar Pistorius case say there was an error in a detective's testimony at a bail hearing today when he identified a substance police found in the South African Olympian's bedroom as testosterone. A spokesman for the state prosecutor says it's too early to identify the substance, which is still undergoing laboratory tests. The double amputee track athlete is charged with murder in the shooting death of his girlfriend. For the latest news and analysis, log on to IRN.
You get a pay cut, then a cost of living raise. But I have good news for you. You can build your own golden parachute. Hi, how in the world are you anyway? I'm Andy Willoughby, and I think you'll find that the 3-step plan home business system is a great solution to money worries. You can add to your income in your spare time. For information, go to 3Step USA or call 800-480-2102. 800-480-2102.
A judge is not saying how soon he'll decide whether to delay enforcement of New York City's first-of-its-kind effort to limit the size of sugary drinks. The American Beverage Association and other groups faced off with city officials today in a Manhattan courtroom. The hearing ended without an immediate ruling. The City Board of Health agreed in September to bar restaurants, delis, and some other eateries from selling sugary drinks in cups or containers bigger than 16 ounces. The rule is set to take effect March 12th. The city says it's a groundbreaking effort to fight obesity. Opponents say it's an unfair burden on businesses. They say they shouldn't have to comply until a lawsuit over the matter is resolved. A record has been set in college fundraising. Correspondent Shirley Smith brings us more.
Stanford University has become the first school to collect more than $1 billion in a single year. Survey Director Ann Kaplan says other schools are also showing an increase in fundraising, which took a hit at the height of the financial crisis. She says we're climbing out of the doldrums, but it's the elite schools that are doing best. Harvard raised $650 million, Yale $544, University of Southern California $592 million, and Columbia University $490. I'm Shirley Smith.
New York City school bus drivers returned to work today after a month-long strike. Drivers and assistants, known as matrons, walked off the job January 16th, forcing students to find their own way to and from class. The strike affected 152,000 of the city's 1.1 million school children. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope.
What you want to know. What you need to know. This is South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WNN.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, you now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533, or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Here's Tom Trento. Here's Tom Trento.
Here I am, right here.
There
I was,
he
oops, touched the wrong button there.
Whoop.
Somebody just died.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're back. Tom Trento Vision. Took me a long time to figure out that name.
We voted.
The
people voted.
I never liked using my own name for stuff for many, many, many years, but all the marketing people and all those people say, hey, you got to do that. But it kind of flowed Trento Vision, like television. Plus, it's my view of the world and my minions' view of the world.
Your minions.
And my thugs' view of the world. Greta Berlin, avowed low-life Marxist, who is one of the co-founders, what is he saying? One of the co-founders of the Free Gaza movement, wrote in the Sun Sentinel newspaper the other day that Tom Trento is a very bad person, and he has a group of thugs and minions.
I wonder if I'm a thug or a minion.
Yeah, they are. There is a difference. You can be a thuggish minion, but can you be a minion thug, a minish thug? I don't know, Mike. What do you think? In any event, it is 4:07. We only have a few minutes left with Mark Langfand, and Mark has written a fascinatingly interesting article entitled, let me get back to the title here, because it's kind of a play on words.
Yeah.
Beware, President Obama's Iran war talk is Israel's suicide walk. So let's jump right back in.
You know, he wants to talk the talk, but Israel's got to walk the walk.
Yeah, exactly. CJ has some questions for you, Mark. If anybody wants to get in before Mark has to leave, 888-565-1470. Should Netanyahu give up land for peace in Israel? That's the question. Go ahead, CJ.
Okay, that's part of the question. And why would anybody do that? Because Obama promises them something to begin with. I can't even begin to imagine.
We didn't think about that one, did we?
I mean, even if, let's just say it all worked out exactly according to plan, how could anybody buy into anything that Obama says that he's going to do?
It's like, Obama agreeing to the budget.
You people are so jaded.
No matter what deal, it's like Obama negotiating with the Republicans.
Well,
every time he negotiates, it's a new negotiation that they've got to give more taxes.
Well, the fact is, just even the idea that Obama would say, if you do this, then I will really get tough with Iran. I mean, the only country and the only people that Obama has ever been really tough with are two: Israel and the Jewish people of Israel, and
Liechtenstein.
The United States center-right people. That's it.
And also all of America's traditional Arab allies. Well, they might not have been the greatest allies. At least Egypt was better than Iran before Obama got his hands on it.
Yeah.
And he's trying his best to topple Saudi Arabia as well.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Let's conclude. Well, again,
I want to get into this. I want to get into this theory. We had a guest on last week, Gary Bernson, former CIA station chief and international expert on everything, and he wrote an article that was published in the Daily Caller, advocating that Obama should visit Tehran and try to work out a deal with Khamenei and the mullahs for them to drop their nukes program. Otherwise, if they don't, then the U.S. is going to get tough with them and they're going to take out the program for them. And so he's saying we need to go to war against Iran if they don't give up their nukes program, but we should send Obama there first so that we could say that we did everything we could to stop this from happening. And then just a couple of days later, it was announced that Obama was in fact going to visit Israel. And you're writing the article suggesting that the whole thing is a scam to link the president's plan of swapping Israeli land for peace in exchange for some kind of platitudes, sanctions, whatever, against Iran.
Oh, yeah. And there's an additional point to why Obama might very well have made or is making the trip. And getting back to what Tom said, what's the one of the worst things that could be going on? What could be going on is exactly what that person hypothesized, at least the first part, in that Obama could very well have already made a deal that he's going to Iran, and the only way that he can ride roughshod over Netanyahu is if he personally goes to Israel, and in Netanyahu's face in Jerusalem, he tells Netanyahu, "Listen, man, I'm going to Tehran, and if I hear one rotten word out of this country about my going, we are going to blame you for absolutely every single negative thing that comes from this, and you're going to have to deal with Iran totally by yourself." So what could be going on is exactly what that person said. There could be Obama has yet to earn, or quote-unquote earn, his Nobel Peace Prize, and he is going to do something. There's going to be something dramatic that he is going to do to somehow give him credit for actually earning the prize. We say Hitler and Chamberlain would have won the Nobel Peace Prize for their Munich fiasco.
Right.
The only thing was Hitler invaded a couple of months too soon.
Right.
Had he waited for getting a Nobel Peace Prize, he could then have invaded afterwards, and he would have had a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, he had to beat the weather.
He had to beat the weather, exactly.
Exactly.
So, it's just, it could very well be that Obama is telling Israel, first person, that he is making a deal. And
that he's making a deal, and he's not going to back them if they try to unilaterally do a strike against Iran.
Wait. You guys, both of you guys are Jewish, and you're very jaded. Let's take a different, with a couple of minutes we have left with you.
I don't think being Jewish has anything to do with it.
Let's take a little different tack. Let's give our president the benefit of the doubt, CJ and Mark.
Why would we do that?
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and in terms of doing something noble for Western civilization, for America, for Israel, what if he called you up, Mark Langfan, and said, "Mark, I'm listening to the Trento show. I watch it every single day when I'm not playing golf with Tiger Woods."
No, he listens to it on iHeartRadio while he's playing golf.
While playing golf. Mark Langfan, you tell me what you want me to do in Israel. What would you tell him to do?
What I want him to do in Israel is to say that Israel is and always will be an absolute vital ally to the United States. We're not going to tell people that we think we know better than the Israelis what the Israelis should do. They're the ones having to deal with people trying to kill them. No one's trying, no one from Brooklyn is trying to kill me living in Manhattan. I'm not going to tell them what to do. We've got their back, we've got their front, we're with them. You Palestinians have to stop the incitement, all the terrible things you're doing, and we're not going to give you money until you start using your money for intelligent purposes, i.e., we already gave you $100 million to build water treatment plants in the West Bank, and where the money went was bank accounts in Switzerland. You got to build the water treatment plants that we gave you the money for, because you're blaming Israel for your kids getting diarrhea when you're the ones who were being your own aquifer.
Okay, Mark, I think Tom was asking you for real. Like, what do you really want to see him do?
I really want him to
answered
see.
it.
Well, listen, I have this other business call that's coming in.
All right. Go do that.
We'll do it another day.
All right.
Okay,
we will
thank
do that on another day. Mark had a conference call he has to go to.
All right.
Judah, I just found out. Nobody told me you were on the line, Judah.
You liar. I told you we had a call.
Yes, you did. You did. Hi, Judah. You're with Tom and CJ.
And
how
you
can we
were
help
with Mark, but he is with us in spirit only now.
Yes, but we can answer for him.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm going to answer. You asked the question. What should Bibi Netanyahu do? Should he cave into pressure, to Obama's pressure, and give up concessions, territorial land concessions? The answer is, number one, the Bible and God says that the West Bank belongs to the Jews. Number two, international law says that the West Bank belongs to the Jews. We're talking about the Balfour Declaration, the San Remo Conference, and what came out of the San Remo Conference, a United States Senate presidential signed ratified treaty called the Anglo-American Convention. And that's number two. And number three, this whole thing about West Bank being occupied is a fraud, because if you ask the Arabs, when did it become occupied, they'll say, well, 1967, the 1967 war. Of course, as an aside, Israel liberated the West Bank in 1967. So they'll say 1967. Okay. So then you ask, well, how come in 1929, 67 Jews were massacred in one day by the Arabs in Hebron? And in the early 1920s and also 1930s, there were, on an intermittent but continual basis, Jews were slaughtered.
Okay, Judah,
let me just finish 1 second.
Yeah.
Was it because of the occupation in 1967 that those Jews were murdered in 1929?
Yeah, no, good point.
Judah, so to answer the question, you're saying no.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
okay.
yes.
No. And I would say, why should he? What's his incentive? What does the United States have to offer the state of Israel that would make it worth it for them to commit suicide?
You're absolutely right. And how can you believe a president who came out and he says, oh, sequestration is bad, bad, bad. You were the one who created the idea of sequestration, you idiot. All right, listen, you guys, God bless you all. And
hope to see you tonight. Hope to see you tonight at the Thule deal.
God bless.
Okay, thank you,
take
Judah.
Care. Thank you,
It was very interesting what Judah said. He had 3 points. If you remembered, it's you. Somehow it's you.
Turn your thing off.
It's definitely you, because you just did something and it's clicking.
And Mark Langfan is still on the screen.
Okay, you can take Mark off, Mike.
Yeah.
Judah just, what we're doing, folks, at 19 minutes past 4 o'clock on the East Coast. Yeah, the clicking stopped. 19 minutes past, you need shrouded shredders.
They're on their way.
19 minutes, 20 minutes now past 4 o'clock.
And the time is going by so fast today.
TrentoVision.tv on WNN 1470 here in Boca Raton, Florida. What we're doing is discussing Mark Langfan's article, which simply said that President Obama, as you know, we defend the Constitution, we defend Israel's right to defend themselves. We're wonderful people. We fight to defeat Islamic Sharia, and the president is at the top, the pinnacle of all these issues, so we go after the president to deconstruct his fantasy world he lives in. And the sad part is his fantasy world is being implemented as public policy in the United States, so we have to stop that. What Judah said that was just interesting, he said, no, Netanyahu should not listen to Obama because God gave the land, the West Bank, Judea, Samaria, to the Jews. Number two, international law says it's the land of the Jews. And number three, the geography is such that even before the 67, occupation and all that stuff, Jews were living there. Well, one of the primary, and if there are nothing out of today's show, perk up your little ears. This is what you should get out of this show today. If you want to defeat your enemy, you have to think like your enemy, okay? If you want to defeat your enemy, you have to think the way they would think. Therefore, when they're in a particular situation, if you've adapted your thinking to view something as they would, then you can respond in a way that counters whatever their thinking is directed toward. Pretty simple. It's not what our administration does, just the opposite. the Islamic mind looks at Judah's statements and said, God gave this land to Israel. They don't believe in your God, okay? The Jehovah, Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, Hashem, ain't Allah. Sorry, different God. Oh, but wait, don't they say we serve one God under Abraham?
Well, they're the same book.
Well, they say it's the same. Allah's a different name. The Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, thank you.
Dawah
There you
experts,
go.
okay?
There you go.
It's a scam. If a Muslim tells you that a Jew and a Muslim are serving the same God, it ain't true. The Allah God is completely different than the God of Jews and Christians. Completely different. So the Muslims look at that and go, no, God didn't give you that land. Allah gave us that land.
Yeah.
Well, international law. What does the Islamic mind say about international law?
It's Sharia.
International law. What is international law?
International law doesn't mean anything. National boundaries don't mean anything. It's the one world caliphate. It's the Sharia.
They actually explained it in the Arab Declaration of Human Rights. They say it is Sharia.
Yeah.
I mean, they proudly announce it.
Yeah.
And they put it with Section 25 and 26 of the, they actually say it. It is Sharia law.
So the people that the people that the Israelis and Netanyahu are negotiating with, that President Obama is going to be influencing Netanyahu to accept the position, those individuals don't believe in international law. They can't. It goes against their religious beliefs. But wait, we're talking about a state. Well, there's no separation between the religion and the state of Islam. That's what screws this whole thing up, folks.
That's why Islam is not really a religion.
There we go.
The Ummah is they have no state borders. They have no idea of a state.
Right.
Islam is the state. The idea of Islam is the state, and there is no separation. It is.
So when it comes to the dirt, what is their view about the dirt that is called Israel today?
Once they settle it, once they ever occupy it, once they ever live there,
once they
it's
set
theirs.
Foot on it, it's theirs for
eternity. Just like the mosque in America. Yeah. The mosque is not a church in the United States. It is their property. It is, and they can never give it up, and they just expand that property.
So how do we have peace with one side that says we don't believe in your right from God, we don't believe in your right from the law, and we don't believe in your right from geography?
You can't.
You can't have peace.
You can't. And one other point
we should run the country. You know,
one other point I'd like to bring up is, you know, we had Diana West on last week,
and she'll be on tomorrow.
5 to 6 as well.
5 to 6.
But if you remember from her discussion last week, she was pointing out that we do not speak the same language. Right. We may be using the same words, but when you say, you know, for instance, the word honor means something completely different.
I've been preaching that for years,
to them than it does to us. So even though we say, oh, for our sacred honor, for God, whatever, they don't mean the same thing that we mean. It's apples and oranges.
And to highlight what you're saying, honor to us means like go dive on a hand grenade or something like that. Or to them is their honor means.
To them it means strap on a hand grenade.
And also keep your women.
Hand grenade is a commonality.
Yeah.
And keep your women pure.
Yeah.
That's them. If your women become impure, you are dishonored in the Islamic land. That's the reason they have to veil their women, because they'll be with that honor.
And what are we doing? We are explaining to our audience the intellectual, the philosophical, the very practical realities of the conflict between Islam and Western civilization. And why is this important? Hang on, there's a call coming in.
Oh, come on.
And why is this important? And why is this important? Because within a month, our president is going to go to the Middle East. And most likely, there will be inflamed rioting and protesting and everything else coming out of the Middle East somewhere, because, you know, some jihadi group, some Al-Qaeda group, some Sharia group somewhere is going to create problems for Israel, for Americans, and we're getting America ready. And in the event that Israel has to strike Iran, which will divide the world in half, actually it's not going to be half, it's probably 90-10, 90% of the world against Israel, 10% with Israel. We have to maintain our integrity and principles and stand with Israel in the very, very difficult days when that happens. Otherwise, here's a question for everybody.
Okay.
If the Persians get a bomb, there is an Islamic bomb already. The Pakistanis got that.
Well, they already have it.
Yeah, they have that. So that's the sort of the Sunni bomb. If there's a Shia bomb, a Persian bomb,
they already have that too.
Yeah, they probably do. But if they actually test it and then they become, as Jim Woolsey says, just a test of a small, tiny 50, 100 kiloton, something half the size of Hiroshima, if they just test it, they're a member of the nuclear family, okay, a nuclear club. If the Iranians get a nuclear bomb, how does that geopolitically change the world overnight?
Well, first of all,
this is why we're talking to you folks out there, because this is coming down the pike.
Nuclear deterrence is not deterrence for them. It is actually an encouragement, because for them to bring in their 12th imam, their savior, their idol, is they must have World War III in essence, and enable complete and total chaos. It is an encouragement for them to start World War III. It is not a deterrent. It's not like dealing with the Russians, where, hey, we'll blow you up, you'll blow us up. Well, in this case, hey, you blow us up, we'll blow you up. And they say, good, that's what we want. That's the whole difference ideologically between this nuclear arms race, if you will.
All right, so at one level, if the Persians, the Iranians are not Arabs. It's very important for the audience, particularly Tea Party folks that are new to some of these national security things. The Persians, Iranians hate Arabs, typically. They're two different groups of Islam. They usually kill each other unless there's a Jew in the house. Then they kill the Jew first.
Then they band together to kill the Jew. And then they kill each other.
Well, in essence, Persians are really good people. I've met a lot of Persians.
Well, that's why, you shouldn't be calling them Persians. You should be calling them the Iranians, because the Iranians, really,
they're fighting each other, the Iranians and the Arabs. And then a Jew walks in, they kill the Jew, then they go back to killing each other. This is sane people.
It's like a cartoon.
It's like a cartoon. It really is like a cartoon.
Speaking of cartoons, I saw the other day that the Egyptian High Court upheld the death sentences against the seven
Mohammed
people,
movie?
the 7 Copts.
These people are insane.
Behind the Innocence of Muslims film,
right?
And but they did reduce the sentence of Pastor Terry Jones to only a 5-year prison sentence.
Only to skinning him alive and eating him before high noon. But at 29 minutes, fast 4 o'clock. Let's go to Joe and see what Joe has to say.
Okay.
Well, I just want to explain something real quick about the Persians.
Well, hang there.
No, Joe went.
Oh, we lost him?
Okay.
Yeah, we lost
him. Well, about the Persians is, when you meet people from Iran, and generally there are 2 types of people. One who are the hardline Islamic extremists. Those are the people who we're talking about. On the other hand,
that's the minority.
Yeah, and that's the minority who's in control and in power right now. There's a very large section of the Iranian people, if you will, who are simply Persians. Some of them are Zoroastrians, and some of them they're very secular in nature. And those are the people who you want to deal with. And we met a lot of good, great Persian people.
Right.
I mean, great people who are just...
Well, these are the people. Right. These are the people we supported in Iran during their failed revolution several years ago that the Obama administration didn't support. If you're going to support anybody, forget the Arab Spring that comes later, which is a big nothing.
Right.
Support the Persians in Iran, for heaven's sake, the real ones, okay, who support democracy, who support the United States, who are well educated, who have the intellect, the infrastructure to have a successful state, not a failed state, not a theocracy, not an oligarchy, a real successful state. And what do?
We
let we let the government eat them up.
Well, there was a really great plan.
We stood by and we let them get killed in the streets.
There was a really great plan introduced by Rick Santorum in the Senate to do just that. Was to support a revolution in Iran to topple the theocracy and replace it with a secular government.
Yeah.
Run by not theocrats, Islamic theocrats, but by the Persian people themselves.
Yeah.
And that he got that bill passed, he got everything passed, and even reluctantly, even by the Bush administration, he got it passed. And yet, when the Obama administration had the golden opportunity to implement that plan, which was
millions of people in the streets, this is your time.
Which was a bipartisan agreement, which was vetted by everybody, on Capitol Hill, which was approved by the Congress, which was approved by the Senate, which got signed off, into a resolution of support. What did Obama do when he had the golden opportunity to implement that bipartisan plan?
He sided with
the theocrats.
Why does he do that?
Good question.
Well, it fits in. It fits in exactly with the information we got recently about the connection between the Students for Justice in Palestine in Brooklyn College, stirring up their activity up there as a Muslim Brotherhood Front organization. In fact, Brooklyn College was in the news a year or so ago because they had undercover New York cops infiltrating the Muslim student associations. That's how bad the MSA is on campus. And the CARE went nuts with all of that. That's the same place the SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine, had their little Jew hate fest a couple of weeks ago. And then they took their Jew hate fest down to right where we are in our hometown.
Yeah.
So we see the combining of this, and we know enough to identify a coordinated effort for some reason. So we start asking the questions. Why are they hitting Boca? Why are they hitting Brooklyn? They went to UC Irvine because they got a strong MSA there.
Right.
The MSA is not as strong, Muslim Student Association, here in Boca Raton on Florida Atlantic, but there's 4 mosques in Boca Raton, right? 3 right now, and a 4th one's being built in this small little town.
Yeah.
Why are there 4 mosques with a tiny Muslim community?
If you build them, they will come.
In Boca Raton, Florida, which
they're
has
claiming their property.
Going back to what we said earlier, is they're in the buying property, holding it, and holding it forever, and expanding their bubbles. Once they expand the bubbles, the whole area becomes inside that bubble.
What did Johari Malik, the outreach director for Dar al-Hijra, the Jihad Mosque up in Fairfax, Virginia, when we were with him in June, what did he tell us the number was, that the number of the 2 million Muslims who are voting age, what was the number going to be, Muslims voting for Obama?
Well, first of all, back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We asked him about the 6 million number.
7 million,
the 7 and this is very interesting, that part of the conversation.
Yeah.
How come you guys are saying there's 6 or 7 million and
Muslims living in the United States?
Why? Because that number is just way off.
The Pew poll says 2 million.
Yeah. And he goes, you guys aren't stupid, are you? And we go, no.
We just sat around and made it up.
He goes, no, we want to have the same impact and thought process as the Jewish population, who is $6 or $7 million. So we have to be equal to them. We can't be, minor to the Jews. So we have to act like we're 6 or 7, the same force.
And he told us that they cooked it up in a room. I mean, we have it on videotape. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
And the 2 million number, what he said, who voted, he says, yeah, probably about 90-95% are going to vote for Obama, in this upcoming election.
So it's going to be
and they did.
Overwhelming Muslims
and they did,
voting
by
for
the way.
Obama. Okay. Let's connect the dots for our lovely audience. So we have an operation going on of a Muslim Brotherhood Front in these 3 key areas over the past couple of weeks. UC Irvine, Brooklyn, and Boca. Muslims behind it. Muslims are voting overwhelmingly for Obama. President Obama is going on a significant trip to Israel in order to bring justice to Palestine. Isn't that the name of Students for Justice in Palestine?
Yeah.
So The idea then is to get, here's some of our sources have told us, and our sources, it's no big surprise. I mean, we've been out here for a long time, and there are Muslims out there who I'm doing, for the radio, I'm doing air quotes, okay? Muslims out there who may or may not be real live Muslims. They may be making believe they're Muslims, and they have infiltrated some of these organizations. Or they may actually be Muslims who don't really believe all the Muslim stuff, but they're in there and they're really Americans. They may be. Those things happen. And so maybe some of them actually tell us stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
and they may
some
be
of that.
people you know.
Could be. Or we could be making all this up. In any event.
Yeah, we're making all this
up. We could be making all this up. We're making it all up. In any event, our sources. Where's
probably the prettiest girls.
Oh, yes. Actually, we've been on many campuses, and many of these Muslim guys, they go, okay, I blow myself up, and maybe 72 virgins, or it could be raisins. I'm not quite sure of the language. I don't speak Arabic. Or I could date Maria over there right now.
Right.
Which direction am I going? Maria right now?
Or 72 raisins.
Who's doing this to me? Maria who's going, come here, Mohammed.
No. It's
come on.
Mary. And she has blonde hair.
She's Mary with blonde. Mohammed, come over here. And Mohammed's going, Mary
raisins
now,
are Mary. Raisins are Mary. Raisins are Mary.
Mary
Mohammed.
first, then the raisins.
Mohammed.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
Mohammed, you a Bud guy or are you a Stella guy? Oh, 72 raisins, 72 virgins, or Mary. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, let me tell you what they do, okay? Mary wins out of that one all the time, okay?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, they're guys. What do you expect, right?
Yeah.
So maybe some of those guys who kind of blew off the tribal, I gotta blow myself up
for 72 raisins, good
to make the world safe and all that, and
don't forget to have some Johnny Walker Black with that Mary too.
Yeah. So we'll develop the story of Mary and Mohammed. Mary and Mohammed. We will develop that story. That's an ongoing
we should change
saga.
the name from Mary to something else because we're going to make a lot of Christians unhappy.
No,
with
that
choice.
No, but Catholics, you mean, over Mary? Nah, that'd be okay.
That'd be all right. She's on our side.
But I think we have a.
I think Mary would be on our side.
Yeah, she has to be on our side.
I think we have a bit in the making, a saga in the making, Mary and Mohammed.
Okay. I just would caution you that if you're going to make a video of it.
We can do that. We know how to do that.
We have the technology.
Don't make it a cartoon.
Okay. That's right. All right. Yeah.
And don't send it to anybody in Egypt.
And don't put it on the Cartoon Network.
No. So in any event, somebody got us some information that said SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine, is trying to mobilize kind of elite, wealthy, significant Jewish people.
Yes.
They go to these events, and the leftist Jews, even though the pro-Palestinian speakers are saying,
"Kill the Jews!
Kill the Jews!" I mean, how stupid do you got to be?
Really?
I mean, how stupid do you have to be?
That's why they don't let anybody
boycott,
in there
divestment. What's BSD? Boycott, divestment, what's the S? BSD.
Sanctions?
Sanctions.
Yeah.
That's the whole message. Even though the whole message is, Israel's a horrible nation, some of the elitist Jews, and at Brooklyn, they had the political science department with Jewish leaders in it, right? Supporting the Students for Justice in Palestine meetings. So they get to know some of these people, and how could we sort this out? And you know how these influence operations work.
Yeah.
Well, the president is going, and it's public record that you give a lot of money, sir, to the president, and we believe that we can bring peace to the Muslim world if President Obama can simply get Bibi Netanyahu to agree to
jump into the sea with about 6 million Jews. If he would just do that.
So, and this
all would
stuff
be right with the world.
This stuff may be illegal, some of this activity, but typically isn't. But these are influence operations, is what they are, and So that's what's happening in Boca Raton, because there's a lot of very wealthy, very influential Jewish people that are so far on the left that isn't funny, that we've debated. And they basically said, look, Israel's got its own problems. Leave them alone.
If they will debate you to begin with, because they are more likely to cozy up with the SJP and the Muslim Brotherhood and have a reach out and a dialogue and building a bridge of peace with them than they ever would be to listen to us for 5 minutes.
Hey, and here's a news flash for all you liberal leftists out there who are stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
Low information voters.
Low information voters. When they start coming after people, when they start saying, we're going to kill you, okay, when they actually put that into a kinetic operation, they don't come after us first.
No.
Who do they take out first?
Come
all
the revolution, they go after you.
You first.
The low-hanging fruit.
And that would be you guys.
That would be you guys.
Newsflash. So, hey, you know what? You're our canary in the coal mine. So keep it up. Yeah, so we know when to take cover.
Yeah.
Because they come after you first.
That's right, on many, many, many levels. So what is our point? Our point is that we're uncovering, and we're in the midst of it, and we're not done with the Florida Atlantic University at all regarding them suppressing our right to expose these people on campus. In fact, this evening we're going to an event that's a spin-off event from the Israeli Apartheid Week. We will be at a showing of a movie by Tuli Woltz, and the public is invited. We have nothing to do with the event. We're just
going.
We're going. We've promoted it. I don't even know who the sponsoring people are, but our friend Tuli Woltz is the speaker.
It's not the SJP, I'll guarantee you.
It's not the SJP, not Students for Justice in Palestine. I don't know who's sponsoring Crossing the Line, which is a short movie, about a half hour, about how the Intifada. What is an Intifada?
Uprising.
Remember the Intifada was the first one was 2000 or so, where the downtrodden Palestinian youth that can't fight the M4 carrying Israeli defense forces, so they throw stones at them, and then light tires on fire and have all of this unrest. This Intifada has come to campus on a cultural level. So that's tonight, 6:30 at the Hillel Room. I don't think Hillel is the sponsor of this.
I don't think so.
Hillel is a Jewish organization that helps Jewish kids or something. So the public, I don't know.
I'll fight.
Don't get us started. And Alan Bergstein, if you're listening.
Yes,
I know. Don't call in. Start screaming at us. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going this evening in the ongoing saga of dealing with Florida Atlantic University, and we'll be bringing out more information in the days ahead. But all of this is critically important, and sometimes when you're on the leading edge of all this information, you go, what are you guys talking about? Well, trust us. Stuff is going to happen in the near future, okay? And you're going to go, oh, my God, they knew exactly what was going to happen. And we're preparing for that because we know this president. He is pro-Palestinian. He hates Israel. He hates Israel. He really does not like Israel.
He doesn't like Jews.
And let me ask you this.
Did you see this?
Let me ask you this. Just from a pragmatic and expeditious perspective. What is it? Anything?
Okay.
Just dig this, okay? I want you guys in the audience to really seriously consider this.
Can you dig it? I knew that you could.
You are 51 years old. You are in relatively good health. Mm-hmm. You have a relatively nice family.
Talking about me?
You have 3 more years of a rotten job that you gotta do.
Talk about me. Definitely talk about me.
Of a rotten job you gotta do before you're completely free. Okay?
Completely
free.
Of the ability to support yourself.
And you've got to make decisions in March. Dig this seriously. You got to make decisions in March that will determine for the next 30 years of your life where you can travel.
All right.
Because if you make decisions that favor one group of people, you can't travel safely around the world ever again, even with your 4-man little Secret Service grouping. Because Somebody is going to go after you who didn't like the fact that you favored 7 million people in a place where they're not even supposed to be for the next 30 years of your life. But if you make decisions, tough decisions, that piss off 7 million people who don't say anything anyway, and another 7 million in the United States that just shut their mouth too, you can travel. Maybe there's one country you can't travel to for the next 30 years of your life, but you can go to every Arabic country, every Islamic country. You can go anywhere you want, and you will be viewed as a hero that fought the Jews. You gave it your best shot. You told Netanyahu what to do. You are a world citizen. Which decisions would you make if that is how your life hung in the balance? You don't have, once you leave, you don't have the full force of the United States military flying around you anymore. You got 4 guys that go at you with little pop shooter gun, pea shooter guns.
I'm sure they'll have more than that.
Am I also the leader of the free world at this point in my life?
Yeah.
No, you're when you break free of this presidential thing, and then you can travel like Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
He can travel anywhere he wants to. He fought the Jews. He tried to put them in their place, and he did all this stuff. And
I noticed George Bush stays in Texas.
Yeah. What kind of decisions would you make? Would you, I mean, common sense.
Well, it all depends if you are loyal to this country or you're loyal to another.
Okay, well, that settles the question.
Okay, settles the question right there.
Yeah.
It's where your loyalties lies. I mean, what's your...
I don't think his loyalty
maybe we
is
should
to the United States.
Actually have to go back and look at someone's upbringing, their ideology, how they were raised, who the people they hung out with.
Why do you want to drag all of those facts into this conversation?
Well, because I'm a hater.
You hateful extremist.
Okay, so stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned for our developing investigation into the Students for Justice in Palestine. We're also going to look into that organization as part of the International Solidarity Movement, which is a basically a communist entity.
Yeah. DISM.
And the connection. I have a great connection here between the communist movement in America and the Sharia Islamic Sharia proponents joining with the communist folks. So we'll lay all that out.
Oh, we saw that all the way back during the Occupy movement. When we started reporting on that.
Yes, we did.
And when we reported on that originally, everybody said we were crazy, we were wacko, we were insane. Oh, you guys are just a bunch of haters. And then we showed it actually on video it happening. And then other people started picking up, showing on video actually happening. And then more mainstream started picking up on the video and actually showed it happening. And all of a sudden, don't listen to those crazies on
Which
on
proves
that.
the old saying, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean somebody isn't following me.
Exactly. Whether or not Daniel Greenfield, who's an excellent writer, Sultan Kanish, who you pointing to?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm fine. Sultan Kanish, Daniel Greenfield. He picked up our story with Guandolo.
Right.
And he concludes, he has an interesting conclusion. Whether or not Brennan had a moment of submission on the road to Mecca, or whether he is simply acting as a useful idiot for the people who perpetrated the attacks on September 11th, he is not qualified to be the point man in the war on terror. I think we've all
we all agree with that.
As the military side of the war draws to a close with a defeat in Afghanistan, the CIA will take on a greater degree of importance in the fight against Islamic terrorism. During the Cold War, so now we're going into sort of a warm war. It's not as hot, it's not cold because it's still going to be some shooting involved. But he says, Daniel Greenfield, during the Cold War, the CIA was often infiltrated by the KGB, nullifying America's intelligence capabilities in the Cold War. It would be a terrible shame if history repeated itself with Islam in the war on terror.
Interestingly, drawing the comparison to the Cold War, it wasn't just the United States operatives who were infiltrated. It really was first the British and the French. And not just those who functioned in the spy services either. It was that all the upper levels of British and French and intellectual society, which permeated down. And since they were our primary allies, it was like a virus infecting our intelligence community, because we couldn't trust anything coming from the British or the French, because we knew they'd been infiltrated by the communists.
I mean, you have to look at it, look at it just a simplistic level. I mean, not on a complex level. We know for an absolute fact that Islam is at war with America. The Muslim Brotherhood wants to see America destroyed. They've said it millions and millions of times, and especially over in the Middle East, where people are being killed, they realize they're in a hot war. And in a hot war, you also do spy operations. You also do influence operations. You also do all these things to turn your enemy against you. It's logic.
And for those people who would say, well, why should they bother with us and why should they come after us? Well, just think about it this way. The only thing standing between a totalitarian takeover of the free world and what we have now is a strong United States. It's the United States that saved the world in World War II from Nazi fascists. It's the United States that saved the world from a communist takeover. It's only the United States that stands between totalitarianism and freedom. And if you knock off the United States, then you can go anywhere in the world and do anything you want. Why not just do it?
You notice
why not rot it from within until it's so weak and unable and stupid to defend itself, and then the rest of the world just falls?
And if you look at a country who truly understands the Islamic mindset, one country truly understands the Islamic mindset, and they don't have any tolerance with them whatsoever,
China,
is that country called China.
Right.
There is no influence operations on a major scale going on in China.
Sorry, guys, the show's over.
Yep, that's what they say.
Because peace has now come to the world.
Why?
And our work is no longer needed.
Oh, what happened?
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
In his first major speech, I must have, when was this? I must have missed it. Unless he just did it. In his first major address, Secretary of State
Kerry.
John Kerry
has
solved the world's problem, in particular solved the problem with Iran, and peace, we will have peace.
Peace in our time?
I'm just going to introduce it and we'll talk about it after the break.
Okay.
John Kerry said that aid, the United States giving aid to Iran, will stop Iran from obtaining deadly weapons.
How come I didn't think of that?
Yeah, because it worked so well with North Korea.
Yeah.
In his first major address, Secretary of State John Kerry says aid allows the U.S. to ensure Iran will never endanger American allies or interests. Aid allows America to work with international partners to make sure Iran will never obtain a weapon that would endanger our allies and our interests, Secretary of State John Kerry said.
So we'll impose sanctions on them, and then we'll give them aid.
Well, I got an idea, Tom. Does this aid include Obama phones?
Yeah.
Foreign assistance is not a giveaway. It is not charity. It is an investment in a strong America and a free world.
I'm going to be nauseous.
This is insane.
I'm so nauseous. I don't even know what to say. And are we leaving early next hour?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to leave at 45 of.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Well,
this was yesterday. He just gave this speech yesterday.
And the insane part about it is that they really believe this.
Yeah.
Guess where he's going to be in March?
He's going to be in Iran.
Maybe. Guess where else he's going to be?
France.
No.
Guess who he's going to Israel with?
I don't know this.
President Obama.
He is going with him?
He is. They switched the plans now, and he is going with President Obama
I didn't hear that.
to Israel in March. They're double teaming Netanyahu. Oh, this is getting interesting.
I wonder if he's going to get a humanitarian award.
I was going to say, I wonder what kind of award he gets.
We should give him a Trento Vision. I'm thinking of the way
Golden Calf Award.
Let's take a couple of minutes and go in the hallway and scream our heads off after reading this. Then we'll be back to deal with this in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning into Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Tom Trento can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. And tune in again weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mike. If living healthier longer is your goal, you should join me on my radio show, Healthy Talk, every Wednesday at 1 o'clock on AM 1470, WNN, brought to you by the Life Extension Foundation.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the collaborative spirit. There's just one place where players, coaches, and fans experience the exhilaration that happens when an entire community rallies behind the school team. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. In addition, high school sports help young people in Florida develop the discipline and confidence they need to be leaders in life, even as they unite communities like nothing else. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Woohoo! Let the fun begin. Get ready, world.
Here we come. No, it's not the Monkees. It's a talk show that follows in the footsteps of some famous duos.
Like Lucy and Ricky Ricardo.
How about Fred and Wilma Flintstone?
The Honeymooners, Ralph and Alice.
And Batman and Robin. We're known as Night and Day. Honey, half of those are either dead or cartoon characters, you know.
Great. We won't have that much competition.
We're known as Night and Day. Every Wednesday night at 7.
This is Steve Kane, and let's face it, in this economy, everyone is cutting back. But now, thanks to Dr. Michael Blum, the one place you don't have to cut back is on your dental health. Right now, Dr. Blum is offering a special for Steve Kane listeners only. A free full exam, including consultation and x-rays, all at no charge. Dr. Michael Blum, with 20 years of experience and a reputation for being one of the finest dentists in all South Florida. Call and schedule your appointment today. 954-463-4999. That's 954-463-4999. Remember, this is for Steve Kane listeners only, so mention my name when you call. You can reach Dr. Blum at blumdentist.com.
This is Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, and WKIS HD3, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
IRN USA Radio News, I'm Hope Duggar. Southern California authorities say they have identified a woman in her 20s who was killed in a home in southern Orange County at the start of a gunman's hour-long shooting and carjacking rampage yesterday. The woman's name isn't being released until her family is notified. Police say the woman was the first of 3 people shot and killed by 20-year-old part-time college student Ali Sayed in a rampage early yesterday morning. Kansas City officials say they left it up to the gas company to determine whether to evacuate a popular restaurant yesterday evening after receiving word that a construction worker had hit a gas line nearby, but it's not clear just how much of an effort was made to clear the restaurant before a massive explosion and fire that destroyed the building. The body of one victim was found today. 15 others were injured. Former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. is admitting in court that he used campaign money for personal use. His guilty plea today could bring him between 46 and 57 months in prison. This is IRN USA Radio News.
Attention! Are you spending over $100 a month for your prescription medications? Are your prescription medication costs too high? Can't afford to refill your medications? Well, we've got great news. You are now eligible to get your medications through GetYourMedicationFree.com at little or no cost to you. Call 800-771-2138 or go to GetYourMedicationFree.com right now. One of our members, William, reduced his prescription fees from over $9,000 a year to just $180 a year. And Linda was paying over $750 a month. But now she gets her medications free. Even if you have no insurance, you can get your medications free or at very little cost. And if you do have insurance, you can maximize your current health plan benefits. And if you call right now, we'll include our wellness panel, a $500 value free. Call 800-771-2138 or go to GetYourMedicationFree.com right now. That's 800-771-2138. GetYourMedicationFree.com.
Are the dire warnings about the results of a sequester really justified by the facts? Here's our correspondent, John Russell.
The president is warning that if the sequester kicks in, police, firefighters, and teachers will be out of work. The problem with the claim, however, is that these workers are paid by state and local governments, not the federal government. While Mr. Obama lists a number of programs that are popular with many Americans as being endangered by mandatory cuts, he fails to mention that those programs would only be cut if the administration chose those areas for the financial acts. Moreover, the cuts in question amount to only 2% of the federal budget and would be spread over a 10-year period. With these facts in play, it's probably not time to panic.
Hundreds of snowplows and salt spreaders are hitting roads and highways across the nation's heartland. The approaching winter storm could dump up to a foot of snow in some areas and bring dangerous freezing rain and sleet to others. For the latest news and analysis, log on to IRNUSAnews.com.
Well, Flo, this is what you call a clogged drain tap.
Yep, looks that way.
Might need a drain extension, some new compound.
Maybe a flange or a twirly thingy.
A twirly what?
Or what you said. Those sounded great. Let's go with that.
Insuring your business vehicles with Progressive is like having Flo on the road with you. Low down payments, great discounts, and flexible billing options. Now that's Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today. United Financial Casualty Company and Affiliates.
A Texas woman tells sheriff's deputies that her 3-year-old adopted son from Russia was playing outside with his younger brother before she found the boy unresponsive. A sheriff says the mother told deputies that she was inside the family's home last month and came out to find the boy on the ground. The child was pronounced dead at the hospital. A medical examiner's office says it's too soon to say if bruises on the boy were intentional or accidental. Russian authorities have blamed the death on, quote, inhumane treatment by the adopted parents. Lance Armstrong won't do a tell-all interview under oath with the U.S. anti-doping agency. Correspondent Jim Bell brings us more.
USADA wanted the disgraced cyclist to tell them everything he knows about the use of performance-enhancing drugs in cycling. Armstrong attorney Tim Herman says that after 2 months of negotiations, Armstrong refuses to participate in a process designed, and these are the lawyer's words, only to damage selected individuals. Armstrong said previously that he's willing to participate in an international effort to clean up a sport based mostly in Europe. I'm Jim Bell.
Astronomers have found the smallest planet yet outside our solar system. It's about the size of our moon and is the first known planet smaller than any in the solar system. The planet was detected using NASA's Kepler telescope, launched in 2009 to hunt for Earth-like planets. Despite the buzz, the newfound planet is too hot to support life. Scientists estimate its surface temperature is a sizzling 700 degrees Fahrenheit. It also lacks an atmosphere and water on the surface. The discovery is detailed in the journal Nature. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm host.
What you want to know. What you need to know. This is South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio, AM 1470, WNN.
Here's some great news from Tom Trento, host of the daily WNN Trento Vision Show. Due to the unparalleled success of the Trento Vision Show, You now have an amazing opportunity to advertise on the Trento Vision Show. If you want more information about this excellent opportunity for your business, please contact Tom Trento at 561-319-5533. Or you can email him, tom@trentovision.tv. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Trento Vision, where bad ideas get pulverized and the truth will set you free. Trento Vision is hosted by Tom Trento. Tom can be reached at 561-319-5533 or tom@trentovision.tv. Listen and watch every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. on AM 1470 WNN and trentovision.tv. Now, let's get a peek at Tom's view of the world. Here's Tom Trento.
Here I am. Here
you are. Here you are.
In living color with a guest. Let's give a hand to the guest in the studio right now.
We have a visitor.
A secret guest. And you too can be a secret guest at our Beasley Broadcasting Company
And
studios.
we would love for you to visit us.
Yes, bring cookies.
Yes.
Or,
no. I stopped bringing cookies most of the time to help your effort.
Send that guy cookies because we said we would.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just learned something techie
What's
in the
that?
elevator. If you have a problem with your Otter case, take a picture of it, you send it in, they send you a new one.
With your what case?
Your Otter case for your
Otter,
iPhone.
O-T-T-E-R.
What is that?
It's a protective case for an iPhone. It's supposed to be like supersonic protective case.
Yeah, but you have a problem with it, it goes defective. It's kind of like Zippo lighters. You send it in, they send you a new one. You got to take a picture of it.
Cross pens, man. I have done that with cross pens for 30 years. They stop working, you send them in, they send you cross pens back. So that's pretty good. I don't have an Otter box. I have Life Proof. Life Proof. This is phenomenal. You can throw it in the water, you can throw it down there. Look at that on TV. Hi, Tom Trento here, 5:07, 7 minutes after 5 o'clock on the East Coast. For those of are we on the air? Did you put us on, Mark? Did anybody put us on?
Yeah, we're on the air.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm not. I got to do
Are
this
you
little
getting
thing.
high off these cough drops?
They make you cough. What do you think they're called cough drops for?
Take them if you want to cough.
Cough drops. Trento Vision.
But there's going to be peace in the world with Gary now, huh?
Well, yeah, there's going to be peace in the world. But for people just joining, because right now people got off at 5 o'clock. You know, people actually have a 9 to 5 job or 8 to 5 job, unlike you, Mark. Did you ever work an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job?
If you really want, U.S. Navy. But it was 5 to 5 till midnight.
Did you ever work a 9 to 5 job?
Yes, I did.
What did you do for 9 to 5?
Customer service.
That could be a whole range of a lot of things.
Yes, it could.
What were you?
I can't tell you.
How were you servicing the customers? Did you ever work a 9 to 5 job?
Yeah,
Plenty.
Yeah.
I did sales for AT&T.
That's true. You were on the phones. Yeah, I remember that.
I worked at Dada, but that wasn't 9 to 5. That was like 5 to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like normal jobs?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah, I've worked plenty.
How about you,
straight
mystery
jobs.
guest? Did you work a 9 to 5 job
straight
ever?
jobs.
I've worked every kind of shift imaginable.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've actually worked plenty of 9 to 5 jobs.
I think I have.
As an IT guy. And,
if I ever have to do that again, throw me off a bridge someplace, okay? But we need all of you guys out there
Keep it
working
up.
9 to 5. Yes, keep it
We
up.
need you to keep us on the radio so we don't have
Yes.
to get 9 to 5 jobs.
Because this job, we just walk in 1 minute to 3, and we walk out 1 minute after 6, and that's it.
That's it. That's all you do.
That's all you do, man.
And then it's happy hour.
Yeah.
So,
Happy hour.
yeah. But we have meetings.
And people love us.
Yeah.
And people love
us.
us. And people love us.
They do?
They do.
It's taken me 10
Who are
hours.
these people? Where are they?
Taking me 10 hours a day to prepare for this stuff.
Yeah.
It might not look like it, but but in any event, for those of you just tuning in on TrentoVision.tv, if you're you'd be home, wouldn't you, if you were tuning in? We don't want you driving in your car and watching on your iPhones, though you can watch on your iPhones because I've done it, I know it. For those of you listening on WNN 1470, my name is Tom Trento. The name of the show is Trento Vision. Tell your friends. With me is CJ.
Hi.
And the disembodied Mark, who's back in the studio after doing some work somewhere else for a while.
In a secret location.
And Invisible
secret.
Mike. We're all here, and we started on Monday, September 3rd, Labor Day, with a 1-hour show to deconstruct the lies of President Obama and to persuade everybody in America not to vote for him. We failed at that mission. But we decided to stay on the air. We expanded to 3 hours, and we took over Drive Time. We own Drive Time in South Florida. Get out of the way, Rush and Sean and everybody else.
Because when you fail in your mission, what you need to do is declare it to be a success and to expand your efforts further.
That's what you do. So that's what we did. And we've been here since mid-November, 3 hours a day, baby, live and in color, coming at you. Hundreds. I think it's close to 400 shows now. Each show is an hour. I don't know what that says. You're giving me like unreadable signals.
Ding, ding, ding,
No,
ding,
this
ding,
is right
ding.
up our alley here.
Yeah.
This is a jihadi alert.
All right. Well, let me do this. Then we'll do that. So we from mid-November to right now we've expanded to 3 hours, and we're here every single day. Well, we're expanding again tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow the digs will look a little differently. Our crib is changing. Okay, our studio will look differently, and I'd say within a week or so, you will be seeing more of a television show than a simulcast of a radio show. Right now, we have cameras doing a radio show.
Right.
We are moving toward. We'll be right here, but we'll be in a studio, a television studio, and we will be producing. It's going to take a little bit of time to get where we want to get to, but we'll be in the facility tomorrow, and we're going to be producing just like you're watching, Hannity or Fox or one of those, but really hardcore
and more fun.
More fun, right on the edge with some of the best people in the world. And it's going to be tremendous. 3 shows a day. We'll have them packaged so that you can pick the one you want to watch. You don't have to watch all 3. But
we encourage you to do so.
Yes. So that happens tomorrow, the 21st of February, the day before George Washington's real birthday. Though last Monday it was, but he doesn't know because he's dead. So it really doesn't matter, I guess.
I'll teach you to chop down a cherry
Now,
tree.
what do we do? That's the question. What do we do? What we do is we defend the United States Constitution. Somebody sing God Bless America. Somebody sing God Bless America when I'm talking. Can you do that? We defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And we stand for Israel. And we fight the Islamic jihadis. Most of all, we try to go after President Obama and expose him for the fraud he is, expose him for the socialist he is, expose him. That was pretty good. For the doctrinaire Marxist that he is. That's why we have joined with Tea Party Community. Tea Party Community.
God bless America, our home, sweet home.
Good.
I'm not American Idol.
Give Mark a hand. That's what we do. Okay, that's what we do.
You can
now,
text without
what do we do today? Yeah. What we're going to do right now, you have something that's kind of cool, but let's get back to, and I don't know what it is.
Well, it's not kind of cool.
It's really kind of gruesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is.
What? You know what it is?
Oh, yeah. I looked at the story 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's a little too bizarre.
Okay, so you don't want to talk
we can mention it.
No. I'll do some research into it, and we can talk about it another day.
You can report the headlines of it, though.
I didn't see it. I'm sure we're talking about the same thing. The beheading?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the behanding. The guy was a whack job. I mean, I think there's certainly Sharia components there, but he was trying, the police are reporting, he was trying to get away with the crime by cutting their heads off and their hands off, so make it harder to trace, But we can take a look at it. Let's get back to this guy here, John Kerry.
Nothing to see here, folks. Move on.
No. We'll take a look at it in a little bit.
No,
let's get back to John Kerry.
I don't want to.
I don't really understand this.
I don't want to go back to. Do we have to go? Oh, Dad, do we have to go back?
I don't know. Let me read a little more, kiddies. Minions. Let me read a little more Minions.
Henchmen.
and thugs within the minions.
Are we minions, henchmen, and thugs.
Yes.
Well, please refer to me as thug from now on.
Okay, so Kerry is making a statement that United States aid will stop Iran from obtaining a deadly weapon. Now, if I were teaching a class and made that statement and said, students,
okay,
tell me how that happens, how would you answer that?
Is this a comedy workshop class?
Aid will stop.
Okay.
Extra credit if you can discuss it without laughing.
Okay.
Now, I know the Iranians...
Multiple choice question, Tom. Okay. How to stop Iranian from obtaining nuclear weapons? A, give them aid and more
United States assistance.
United States assistance.
So basically, bribe them, buy them off. Is that what he's saying?
That's choice A.
Okay.
Choice B is put sanctions on them, cut off their supply of weapons, aids, and material.
Okay.
C, have a military invasion from Israel or some other force. D, visit them and have a meeting and try to talk world peace.
Okay, well, let's see what Kerry says. Kerry stated, John Kerry, the new secretary, did he get confirmed? He did get confirmed.
Yes, he did, in a secret ceremony.
Overthrow their government.
I saw that he got confirmed, but I was hoping that I was dreaming that, but I didn't dream that.
No.
Okay, so he did get confirmed.
But wait a minute, but I'm reading now that Kerry's going to bypass Israel on his first Mideast trip.
This is reported right now today on the Jerusalem Post.
And Ynet is saying he's not going.
Kerry stated that about half the people in the Middle East and North Africa are under 20. Okay? And he told his American audience, they seek the same things you do, opportunity. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And usually fundamentalist Islamic regimes give people plenty of opportunity to express themselves freely, because I've noticed that around the world.
Now, I wonder...
I mean, isn't that their mantra, CJ?
I wonder if you get appointed...
Especially if you're a woman.
I wonder if you get nominated to be the Secretary of State and you accept the position that you have to say stupid things like this. They seek the same things you do, opportunity. That sounds like a freshman in a poli-sci class, and the professor says, what does everybody in the world want?
That sounds like the SJP.
Yeah, everybody wants an opportunity. This does not sound like the person in charge of world relations, of diplomatic relations from the greatest superpower, formerly the greatest superpower in the world, speaking to 193, 194, 195, whether or not Bangladesh still exists, nations in the United Nations. In many ways, greatest challenge to American foreign policy today is in the hands not of diplomats, but of policymakers in Congress, Kerry said. Adding, we value security and stability in other parts of the world, knowing that failed states are among the greatest security threats. Okay, he's getting into a little bit of the meat. Kerry raised eyebrows in the audience. Now, this is reported on the front page of the J-Post, Jerusalem Post. Kerry, this was yesterday in Charlottesville, Virginia. Kerry raised eyebrows in the audience when he said that people think about the Holocaust and he raised eyebrows in the audience when he said that people think about the Holocaust and the 6 million lives lost, but that 2 million lives have been lost in our lifetime in Africa. Whoever wrote that sentence, it's a little awkward, but he basically said, look, when we think about the Holocaust, we think about 6 million lives that are lost, but I want you to think, in our lifetime, 2 million lives have been lost in Africa. He received the deepest applause of the night when he said, deploying diplomats today is much cheaper than deploying troops tomorrow.
I'm sorry, what? Can you say that last part again?
I got an idea. Let's send 2 million diplomats over to Afghanistan and see how long they last.
Oh, God. This is he's hiring kids to write this stuff.
Okay, I figured this out. There's 2 Mideast trips that Kerry is making. One is going to be before Obama goes to Israel, and then after he comes back, he's going to leave again and go with Obama.
Yes, because he was going to visit the first time, but the government's not put together yet.
Right.
He received the biggest, Kerry received the biggest applause of the night when he said, deploying diplomats today is much cheaper than deploying troops tomorrow.
And just like before World War II, when we stormed the beaches.
And who was this crowd who applauded?
When we stormed the beaches of Normandy, that's exactly what we did. We sent 2 million diplomats to, because it was a lot cheaper.
This is Thomas Jefferson's alma mater. This is the University of Virginia in Charlottesville.
I mean, what planet is he on? I mean, seriously.
See, those are sound bites that those one-liners that are.
What are 2 million diplomats? All right. Let's parachute in 2 million diplomats to Iran. That's going to solve the problem. Give me a break. I mean, what?
We are in such bad shape.
Why would they get an applause?
In remarks made last week, Kerry alongside UN Secretary General, whatever the guy's name is, Moon Pie head or whatever. Moon Pie, General Moon Pie, ahead of the meeting of the State Department. Ahead of their meeting at the State Department, said that America would not get trapped in a delay after delay process of negotiations with Iran, adding that the onus was on Iran to make progress at negotiations, which are set to resume later this month.
Isn't that what diplomats do, is negotiate?
Israel will not be a stop on U.S. Secretary of State Kerry's first international trip. That's where you were talking about. But it will be on a second. He expects to arrive in Israel at the end of the month with President Obama. I still don't understand what he means by saying that aid will stop Iran from obtaining deadly weapons.
I would think it would help them, wouldn't it?
But he's giving aid to Iran? Is that what he's saying? 888. Help us out here. 888-565-1470. Do you think, as Secretary of State John Kerry believes, that if we give aid to Iran, they will. I don't even know.
I can't even say this with a straight face.
Do you think 888-565-1470? If the United States gives aid, you know what? This whole administration has won re-election by giving stuff to people, so they're carrying the same policy.
Why shouldn't it work now?
Let's give them
Obama
stuff.
phones for all the Iranians.
I mean, I know the Ayatollahs and I know the mullahs are not allowed to laugh. They are pissing in their pants right now. I'm laughing so hard. They are laughing so hard. They're laughing so hard, they're starting to like laughing. They're going, this laughing stuff is pretty good, man.
It's making me feel good.
This
Go
guy,
Obama.
This guy hasn't been in there 2 days, and he's saying absurd things. But 888-565-1470. I want to ask our listeners and our viewers, call in, and
please
we want to know what specifically could you give. Let's grant he's a senator for a long time. He's got a very long face, and he has a lot of money, and he's got a wife who makes ketchup. So all of that together.
Give them ketchup.
Let them eat ketchup.
All of that together qualifies.
Send all the Heinz bottle ketchup over there. That'll give them hamburgers too.
All of that together qualifies him to make absurd statements like this. But let's give him a break. And I want to ask you, what could we as Americans give to the Iranians to make them say, "Oh my God, look what they gave us"? Destroy our nuclear weapons.
Wait a minute. If you had asked me that question a few months ago, I might have said Twinkies.
We can't make Twinkies anymore.
No more
but
Twinkies.
Twinkies are bankrupt, right? So we can't send them our Twinkies.
No, seriously, let's take his
proposition. We are serious.
Let's take his proposition. We give foreign aid to Iran.
Right.
And they say, "Oh, man." Burn the weapons. Get rid of the uranium-236.
I no longer believe.
We don't need the Quds anymore. We don't need the IRGC. The world is wonderful because the United States gave us X. What is X?
What is X?
What do we have?
We have Holly in California.
Holly,
help us out here.
Yeah,
what's the magic?
What could we ship to Iran?
Is it Twinkies? Is it Heinz ketchup? Is it hamburgers, hot dogs, apple pie? What is it?
Well, they already rejected our offer for coming to the 4th of July barbecue. And
they don't want to do that?
Yeah, they don't
want to do that. Well, let's ask Holly in California. Hi, Holly. You're with Tom and everybody else.
Hi, it's me again. Well, I think you might have something on that laughter. If they start lightening up, start like laughing.
Well, that's I got a Sharia law for that one.
Well, no.
I know, but they might start, if the head guides do it, they might just break through some walls there, break down some
you know what?
barriers.
That could be.
Laughter's the best medicine, right? So,
Quarter Reader's Digest.
But yeah,
that's what we could do.
Let her finish. Let her finish. Let our guest finish. Go ahead, Holly. My minions. My minions are being rude.
Thugs.
Oh, my thugs. My minions are being thuggish. Yes, Holly. Go ahead. From what part of California?
Oh, God. Oh, I'm in the Mount Shasta area. Actually, the city of Weed, California.
Oh, she's in
Weed. Oh, my God.
I
Mike.
have been
She's
to
in
Weed.
She's in Weed, California.
Oh, really?
I have postcards.
So do I. I have mints from Weed, California.
Yeah, there's a really, really good diner there that has like the best omelets.
I was driving down.
Exactly, the High-Low Cafe.
Yes, that's it.
That's the one in the city of Weed?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wasn't that. I was at a truck stop, and I was driving down. What is that, 5? Is that 5?
Oh, yeah. 5 and 97.
Yeah, I was coming down 5, and I made a turn going, down the road, driving from Portland to L.A. last year. And I see this gigantic thing in the sky. I go, what the heck is that? And I look on the Google thing real fast, and Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just right there. It's beautiful.
I know. It's incredible. Yeah.
Why does somebody
Holly,
live in Weed?
And Black Butte. Actually, though, I'm in exile here. I'm my childhood is North Hollywood, and I've never quite settled here. I kind of protest that I'm in Weed, California, but what can you do?
Yes, Weed.
You pull out of the garden.
Folks, it's really called Weed.
It really
W-E-E-D.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think that giving Iran jets and tanks like Barack gave the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt, those things aren't really recommended, I think.
Well, here's what we're going to do, Holly. Right now, I'm gonna turn the minions here into mullahs, okay? And I'll be the Ayatollah, and we have 4 mullahs in here. And you are John Kerry. So you try to give us something, and we'll vote on it. We'll vote on whatever you offer us to see if you've persuaded us to abandon our...
I think you should send a boatload of Marys.
Boatload of Marys. So, Holly, go ahead. I'm the Ayatollah, and you're John Kerry, okay?
Oh, no, you want me to play act? Oh, my God.
Yes, yeah, just what will you give? Oh, ma'am, what would you like to give us, ma'am? What do you have for us here, John Kerry?
Hot air balloons with gas, laughter.
What is a hot air balloon?
Laughter is forbidden in Syria. I have it right here. Excessive laughter kills the heart.
Excessive laughter kills the heart. No laughing, John Kerry lady. What is a hot air balloon? What does that do?
Well, I mean, just balloons full of hot air.
You mean the kind that you Americans fly up in?
Well, not even that kind, just illusionary balloons that are full of hot
illusionary balloons.
How about we send them some unicorns?
Okay, let me take a vote. Minions.
Methane gas. No.
Minions.
Actually, other people might have better ideas.
Well, I'm taking a vote. I'm taking a vote with the mullahs. Do we vote yes or no to accept the hot air balloons to get rid of our nuclear program?
One thug says no.
No.
Can we fly them over Al Quds and
it's all no's, and we must kill you, Holly. It's no's, and we kill you.
I kill you. I kill you now.
How about
How about what?
How about the star? What do you call it? The noxious weeds that we have here, like the star thistles and the goat heads and the.
In the Weed, California, you're going to give us your indigenous plants.
Ooh,
and we will
hold on.
And we will end our world domination nuclear program.
Now we may have a bargaining tool.
I think we may be getting somewhere. Do you have any American women you could put in with that?
Your women. How much for the women?
Okay,
how much for your little girl? How much for your little girl?
Okay, Holly.
How about? Well, one of the problems is that there's some really crazy people out there, and I think that
some
we need
really crazy people in here.
Yeah.
No, look. This whole.
How about we can get Well, problem is there aren't very many people performing the Lord's ritual of exorcism around. But if there were,
true.
like a whole bunch of nuns and priests walking around throwing holy water all over the place, do you think that might make?
There was a pastor in Tehran, and he's in jail now, and we're trying to get him out.
We got to let Holly go now.
We do.
And we thank you for calling in.
We have to let Holly go lightly.
I'm not a very good John Kerry.
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
But
no, that's okay. Call back and we'll try another character
punishment.
for you.
I kill you.
That's
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Go plant some weeds. Okay, that's your punishment.
Listen,
pull them out.
Listen,
you have to plant them.
Plant them and sell them to Iran. I like that.
I'm going to be
I like that
serious for a second here
Okay.
and tell you all that the problem is that if it is your goal to annihilate the Jewish state and to kill every Jew on the planet, then no amount of bribes is ever going to stop you from doing that.
You're ruining our whole segment here.
Oh, come on. Killjoy.
Just
Killjoy Cheryl Joy.
You know what?
Kill Cheryl
You were laughing so much I was worried for your heart.
Oh, because excessive laughter kills the heart.
Let me tell everybody what we're doing.
Yeah.
At 5:31, we only have a few minutes left.
Yeah, we're
in
killing
this
some
day.
time until we
No,
do
no,
something
no.
serious.
I like this because the absurdity of this statement. This is at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. This is a prestigious school. And they clapped when he said it's cheaper to send diplomats than it is to send troops.
No,
right?
it isn't.
Well,
actually, I mean, financially,
it's
not.
Diplomats
they
do quite a bit of
that.
damage, and that's why you have to send the troops to fix what the diplomats did.
We all knew, we on the right, conservative people knew that John Kerry is an idiot. He's a complete idiot.
He's a moron.
He disgraced this country when he did the whole thing he did with the Vietnam War. You know, we've been through all the swift boating and all of that. He's only there because he helped raise a ton of money for the Obama machine, and Obama's paying him off as an ambassadorship. I mean but Obama knows he can control Kerry and negotiate through the Jewish people and be pro-Palestinian. But the absurdity of thinking you can pay off Iranians to have them end their eschatological nuclear ambition shows a complete lack of understanding of who these people are, of what reality is, of what the real facts on the ground. And this guy is one of the people to lead the United States of America. This is an ironically humorous situation. That's why we're making a little fun of it. It's graveyard humor is what it is.
This is nuts.
It is really nuts. So 888-565-1470. We'll do one more. If you could tell us seriously, we'll try to do this seriously. Let's do this seriously. John Kerry's thesis is that American foreign aid is not just a giveaway gift or goofy stuff. It is part of public policy that ameliorates the enemy, the other side, gives them something they need, something they want. And in exchange for that, they'll get rid of something that you don't want them to have. What could we possibly give to the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the Supreme Ayatollah Al-Khamenei? He's the one who's going to make the decision. He's got 12 guys with him, and then Ahmadinejad, who's the dancing little monkey guy over there, he weighs in a little bit. What could we give those guys where they would say, damn those stupid torpedoes and them nuclear things, we're done with that? 888-565-1470. Let me know what the United States can give to Iran for them to end their nuclear program. I'm very interested.
I got it.
What?
You're Italian, right?
Italian, Sicilian.
You're very familiar with the way things used to work.
Let me make
you an offer you can't refuse.
Yes, I'm familiar.
So you have this guy comes in and says, I'm going to bust up your shop.
Okay, comes into my shop.
Comes into your shop. Hey, Trento.
Right.
Looks like you need some protection.
Okay.
Well, what do you say to me?
What would I say to you?
Yeah.
I'd say, why don't you sit down right here? And
I'll give you some protection.
Actually, why don't you sit down?
Me and Vinny and my boys, we'll give you some protection.
Why don't you sit down in the trunk of my
Say
Cadillac?
hello to my little friend.
Yeah. Why don't you sit down in the trunk of my Cadillac?
But you're being John Kerry, and I'm walking in.
Oh, I'm John Kerry.
And said, hey, me and Vinny, we're going to give you some protection.
Wait a minute. I'm a French-Italian?
Yeah, whatever.
Who's on first? Who's on first?
Valanda.
Oh, Valanda,
I mean, is that the thinking he has? If we pay these guys off, they won't come in and bust up our shop. Is that the type of mentality he's having?
Well,
I mean, I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, when he says they're going to give aid to Iran, really he's going to give them something that they want. So I guess that's what the trip to Israel is about, because he's going to give them Israel on a silver platter, and then maybe they'll leave us alone in the United States.
You're getting philosophical. It's not necessarily a tangible thing. It's a geopolitical development. Oh, well, let's see what Valanda has to say. Hi, Valanda.
Oh, are you coming tonight to the thing, Valanda?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Are you coming to the Thule event tonight?
Yeah, I'm driving. Listen. Well, if I were Holly, I would have told you that my part is better than your part in America. And no, there's absolutely nothing they would want from us to make them give up their nuclear program. It's as simple as that.
She's not.
Well, how could
what they have? What we have is an upfront over the years. Okay?
I'm trying to give the guy a break.
Listen, coin it, brand it. I don't care. He's a double-breasted idiot.
A double-breasted idiot. That's pretty good.
Period. End of story. Okay. You can talk about women being idiots, but he's an idiot. A real idiot.
I don't know if I've ever heard Valanda.
She's fired up.
Yeah, she's fired up. Go ahead.
There's absolutely nothing that we could possibly offer them. Absolutely nothing. I hope this wasn't Obama's idea either, but you never know. But both of them, complete fools.
I'm thinking. Okay, you've made a very interesting point. I'm thinking tangibly, like boatloads of X or Ferraris or whatever.
Absolutely nothing.
And CJ, and you say nothing. CJ said, we've got to look at the big 30,000-foot picture here. He holds this speech right now at a very prestigious university, and when they go to these kind of universities, they're going on their record with policy.
Yeah.
So he goes there. He says that. He's taken off in a couple of weeks to go with Obama. So he already told Iran, we're going to give you something. So you may be right, CJ. He may be giving the head of Israel on a platter to Iran as the foreign
as a
policy.
Mullification.
Yep, as the foreign policy.
So he says, okay. I said if Iran attacks you, we're going to pull our troops. We're not going to do anything to support. If Israel attacks, we're not going to do anything to support Israel. If you want to go in and invade them, attack them, and nuke them, we're not going to bat an eye. Maybe that's what he's offering.
Oh, here's an interesting headline that I'm reading.
I don't know.
Taliban running out of suicide bombers.
Oh my God.
Okay, I have to stop reading.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Stop reading this.
All right, Valanda, thank you.
Thank you,
are you
Valanda.
going over to FAU to the presentation this evening? That's what Mark was asking before. I think she's gone. Okay.
I think she's gone.
She's gone.
Okay.
Valanda.
Thank you for calling.
Valanda's a regular caller. She's a black woman.
You haven't heard her that fired up.
No, she's a graduate of Florida Atlantic.
She was pretty fired up when we broke the story of getting kicked out off of FAU.
Yes, she was. That's true. And she called John Kerry our distinguished, prestigious...
A double-breasted idiot.
That's pretty good. She said we can coin it, so we will coin that.
Okay, yeah, I think we're going to have to.
On our show.
Yeah.
Double-breasted idiot.
Double-breasted idiot.
I think she meant double-barreled, like a double-barreled.
No, double-breasted actually
double-breasted
works.
Because it's much better. Works much better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Valanda.
It's squishier.
Totally squishy. Doubly squishy. All right.
We won't go there.
One of the things I do, I'm losing control here. I'm losing control, Ruthie.
No, I'm sorry. I have to apologize, but it was such a heavy, deep show yesterday.
Yes, I know it was.
And
we need a little
going
levity.
back for a little bit more tonight.
Yes.
We're reverting.
And, we're reverting.
No, we're reverting. No, but one of the things I have done in my life in trying to be an objective analyst before I blast somebody out of the water is to truly understand what they're saying and what they mean. And I'm trying to look through Kerry's slanty long eyes as I'm looking at a picture here. And okay, I understand the doublespeak of diplomacy. You say one thing and you got a little sub-message in there. But on its face, when the mullahs interpret this, they're going to go, Kerry wants to give us stuff to get rid of our deadly weapons.
And he wants to send diplomats.
And they got to say, okay, I mean, if I am the press secretary to Ayatollah Khomeini, they got agents at the Iranian agents were in the audience there.
They're actually driving. We actually saw them, and they're actually driving limos
exactly.
around.
We actually, not only did we see them, we videotaped them in Washington, D.C. They were across the street from the Willard Hotel when Ahmadinejad was there, and they're all hanging out. We went to talk to them, and they're hiding or putting a camera
no cameras, please.
but there are agents in that lecture, and now maybe with the infiltration of the White House, when the speech was written, it was sent to the mullahs to prove.
Well, they gave it to NIAC.
Yeah, to go check it out. And so the press secretary to Ayatollah Khomeini said, okay, we got to talk about this, guys. They want to give us stuff. How do we respond? And they're going to have a response to this, obviously. So what did the mullahs say? I mean, what
after they got through,
if they're being serious, after they
got through rolling in laughter on the ground.
Well,
they said, "Make Israel go away."
What is Israel going away? That's the only thing
they want.
Well, Israel going away is the key to them establishing a Shia imamate. It's a caliphate on the Sunni side. It's an imamate because it'd be run by imams. An imamate on the Shia side. So getting rid of Israel opens up the door to them going after Saudi Arabia. Mark gave us that whole analysis, remember? Mm-hmm. So it isn't Israel just because they hate Jews. It's Israel geostrategically to give them the entree to the world.
It's the keys to the kingdom.
Bye-bye, Israel.
And the Pope saw all this coming and said, oh, I am so out of here.
I'm so out of here. Whoa, time to retire.
Oh,
so Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, I'll handle that.
I'm done. See you, bye.
Bibi Netanyahu is going to have to stand against Obama, Kerry, Hagel, and Brennan.
Yeah.
And the leftist Jews in America have just abandoned their guy in Israel.
Where's the chicken at?
This is
the dead chicken.
Yep. This is crazy.
Said, hey, this is what's coming,
Well,
guys.
if you're prone to prayer, you need to be praying for Benjamin Netanyahu, because I see a setup in the making here. I see
especially with the award and everything.
And Shimon Peres gives him the award. I see an effort to take Bibi Netanyahu out politically, and to decimate him as a world leader, to delegitimize him.
Because he's the only one in Israel who's standing up to the United States and standing up to Iran.
Make him look like a warmonger, like the most
and
evil
you know what?
right
He doesn't
wing.
care how he looks. He cares about his country.
But if you can do that to this person who represents the state, and then they have to necessarily attack, it's going to be extremely difficult to line up world support behind him.
There was never going to be any world support for Israel to take care of Iran no matter what. Period. And if you're going after Iran, you can't be worried about, oh, they won't like me in France. Boo-hoo.
Well, I tell you, and also you go back to the vote of the Palestinian statehood vote. That was actually a test run to see what kind
who's
of world
with me and who isn't.
Who's going to back Israel when they strike. And that was a good test vote.
Yeah.
And there's only 9 countries around.
9 countries.
And the United States was the only one other than Canada.
Canada.
So now if they go in there and say, we're not backing you.
I see a global coup of the United States taking over control of Israel in a de facto sort of behind the scenes way by delegitimizing Netanyahu. If this happens, if Obama can pull this off, all the crazy talk about world domination and and Manchurian Candidate and all that stuff, This is frightening. This guy has elevated the stakes if he moves in this direction in a very, very bad way.
All right, and let's end the show with
that. We're gonna continue this tomorrow.
We could
right
end
now,
with a beheading, but this is kind of.
No, we'll take a look at that tomorrow. Right now, folks, we see a gathering storm on the horizon for Bibi Netanyahu. Stay tuned.